world champion Greg Hancock took victory in round 9 of the Speedway World Championship in Latvia. The series returned to the Baltics after an absence of 4 years, which saw our Warriors of Shale duel out a fantastic night of racing in front of 12,000 fanatical fans. Emil Saifuganov led the World Championship, arriving in Daugavpils. The troubled night with setup and an exclusion for the Russian saw him lose his lead to his nearest rival Tai Woffinden, who seized the opportunity after Saifuganov failed to make the semi-final stage. The final itself had been a strange affair, with first the tape sticking, then Denmark's Nicky Pedersen touching the tapes on the restart. Exclusion to finally leave 3 to fight for the honours. Hancock, gating superbly in red, took to the front, never to be challenged by either Ward or Woffinden. The likeable American was on his way to his 3rd Latvian GP title.
It was probably no better time than to start there. You know, it's been a tough whole year for me, and just trying to find the form that I had, you know, over the last couple of years. So it's going the right way.
So after 9 rounds of the 2013 World Championship, the race for the title has taken another twist. Not only does Britain's Tai Woffinden lead Emil Saifuganov by 3 points, but the Russian has been dealt a cruel blow. Saifuganov crashed in Heat 7 of Czestochowa's 49-41 Polish Extraliga playoff semi-final first leg loss at Torun. The likeable Russian was being pushed hard into turn 2 by Torun's Adrian Medzinski, and after tumbling, he was then ran over by the Pole's teammate Kamil Brzozowski. Whilst we wish Emil a speedy recovery, it's left Tai Woffinden some 21 points ahead of his nearest rivals for the title.
It's a massive shame what's happened to Emil, but you know, that's Speedway, and I had an injury, and you know, luckily got back for the next one. So it's not nice to see. You know, riders don't like seeing other riders get hurt.
So the championship moved south to Krsko, Slovenia, and a return to the Matija Gudek Stadium after an absence of 4 years. We arrive here with a homegrown rider, Mati Zegar, in the top 8 of the world and in the hunt for a championship medal.
Well, medal would be just ideal, you know, but we gotta be taking it easy, not, you know, not get overexcited and overhyped about everything, and just, you know, be focused on your own job and, you know, try to attack from behind.
Hi there, good evening. Welcome along for the DOODSON Slovenian FIM Speedway Grand Prix in the Stadion Matija Gudek Stadium here in Krsko. And there is a terrific atmosphere for round number 10 of the FIM World Individual Speedway Championship. 10 of 12 rounds, we're back in Slovenia. And as always, of course, we get underway, as is customary, with the home national anthem here in Slovenia tonight. Terrific atmosphere as we build up to tonight's racing. Speedway Grand Prix returns here after a 4-year absence to this venue. And the roar is deafening as we take you through the lineup. We start with the 2 reserves. Dennis Stoy at number 18 here tonight. One of the reserves. I should introduce my co-commentator this evening, the 1993 World Speedway champion and a real legend of the shale sport. It's sudden Sam Ermolenko alongside me. We have Matic Voldrea here as rider number 17. But Sam, good evening, welcome along, good to have you with us. Great atmosphere, great to be here tonight.
Yeah, there's a lot out there. A lot of these boys out there really are going to be trying to do their best. It's a good racetrack. The track is really good in practice. And all the riders, I think, are feeling really comfortable and a good buzz.
So that's the wild card. At number 16, here we have Darcy Ward. No doubt, without the injuries, he would have been in the title hunt as well. At the moment, it's Saifuganov and Woffinden, of course. And speaking of Tai Woffinden, here's the series leader.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on this guy's shoulders. He's dealing with it quite well. I mean, respectively, he knows he's got to do his job out there. And tonight, I don't think he will make any mistakes if he possibly can keep it.
What about this guy as well, Niels Christian Iversen, in the form of his life?
Yeah, he's going so well. Lots of titles under his belt so far just recently, and riding with a lot of confidence.
He's assured of a place next year. He won the Grand Prix Challenge recently, but he's already in a great position. And here's the home hero, the Slovenian Mati Zega.
Yeah, plenty of experience here. I don't think he's got many ghosts going around this racetrack. He'll actually be able to put a will on anybody around this racetrack.
And Krzysztof Kasprzak, another rider who's assured of a place next year. He qualified on the rostrum from the Grand Prix Challenge in Poole a couple of weeks ago. It was a fine effort from Kasprzak. It hasn't gone his way this year in 12th place in the World Championship. Now, Jarek Hampel of Poland, third in the standings. A medal is there for the taking for Jarek.
Absolutely, and he's definitely got the credentials to go out on this kind of a racetrack and prove that he can take a lot of points away from these guys.
And Vasilik, who hasn't really followed up his early promise in the series.
No, he crashed into this series with the debut win last year, 2012, and yet to back that up is correct.
Next rider in the lineup is Andreas Johnson, who had that injury earlier in the year. He's back and capable of winning Grand Prix on his day.
He's got to ride with a little bit more confidence. I think he needs to believe in himself. He's definitely got the experience.
And another Swede, Freddie Lindgren, no doubt looking forward to the next GP in a couple of weeks in Stockholm. But Freddie himself as well, who had an injury earlier in the year, that affected his confidence.
I think it did, and it's been showing when he's out there performing. But looking to turn it around tonight, it's a good racetrack for all these guys.
Antonio Limbach, another rider who has struggled, only 35 points from 9 rounds of the Grand Prix this year. He's well down in 15th place and out of contention for a top 8 spot. Now, Leon Madsen in for injuries. This now tonight is his 3rd straight appearance in the Grand Prix. He's very fast on his day, has got into a semi-final in Terenzano 5 weeks ago. Thomas Golub, he looks a lot happier tonight.
He does. He's riding. I mean, I watched him in practice, and he seemed to be pretty good on his setups. He's going fast around the racetrack, and it is his kind of a track, isn't it?
Very much so. Your fellow countryman, Greg Hancock, winner in Latvia 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, he's just riding with a heck of a lot of confidence. He knows he's got to get all the starts to make it happen. The track could cut up a little bit in practice. I think he'll be all right.
Now the battle on for a medal position. Nicky Pedersen right now is just 2 behind Jarek Hampel. He's got a chance of a medal here.
He sure does. And again, just like the other experienced campaigners here tonight, believes that he can go out there and do the job.
And Alice Drimmel, who replaces the world champion Chris Holder, who is continuing his recovery. He's from the Czech Republic, and Chris Holder continuing his recovery back in the UK right now. We wish him well.
Sure is. Yep, we all do, and he's well missed, that's for sure.
So that's the lineup there, the riders ready to do battle here. And let's take a look at the opening 4 heats of this Slovenian Grand Prix. From gate number 4 in Heat 1, the Dane.
Well, definitely willing to back up his campaign last.
Very fast and gunning for a bronze medal at least.
Yeah, riding around here on home soil, knows it well.
Heat number 2 off the outside gate, needs points tonight.
Trying to make his first semi-final of the season this year.
Back from injury and looking quick.
Oh, this guy can turn it around. Let's see what he does tonight.
The series leader, but his nearest rival, Sayfudinov, is out.
Oh, we know how tough he is. What a racetrack. Let's see what he does.
In fine form, don't rule him out tonight.
Well, this guy's got a showcase tonight. Let's see what he does.
Already assured of a place next year. He can relax and enjoy it tonight.
Yeah, lots of experience. Could get out of the start. Could be dangerous.
Can he finally get on the right track in the GP?
Current form right now, this guy could surprise everybody.
So that's the lineup for the opening 4 heats here. Sam, let's just talk about the blow for Emil. We saw the footage at the top of the show there, and it just shows you in the World Championship, you can never take anything for granted. Ahead of the World Cup break, Emil was 15 points clear of Ty Woffenden. Now we're going into round 10. Woffenden is 3 clear. Emil is ruled out through injury. It's just another dramatic twist.
It is. It's very, very much the nature of the business sometimes when you're riding in so many different leagues. And Emil is, you know, it's getting to the pointy end of the Polish stuff, and he's out there really throwing it in there. Every point counts. Unfortunately, he got himself in a bad position. We've seen it We showed some footage of it, and it was unfortunate for him, and I'm sure Ty would like to have him into the event so he can go out there and beat him fair and square and to see what's going to happen.
Well, they do get on well, Emil and Ty has been very sensible in his press comments this week as well, saying that, you know, it's never nice to see a rider crash out like that, and there is this mutual respect amongst those guys.
I think because they race against each other, I've already said it, you know, they ride in many leagues, and they come across sometimes on same teams and sometimes against each other, and you got to gain that kind of respect to be able to compete in so many different events on a day-to-day basis in some cases.
They haven't confirmed officially Emil's injuries. His manager is on record this week as saying there's a 5% chance of him riding again this season. And the bottom line is that Ty Woffenden, who now, you have to say, has a golden opportunity of becoming world champion, has to block that out of his mind and just focus on each individual race. But the way he's talking, he's going to do that anyway, isn't he?
Yeah, his mindset at the moment is probably pretty spot on. I mean, I watched him have a bit of a coming together at Wolverhampton a week ago. And, you know, he sat down there in the fence, bottom of the air fence after a tumble in the first corner, and I'm sure he was counting every bit of his body to make sure he was okay, but in the same thing, thinking about how important it is not to get hurt to come here and represent his world championship chance.
The riders are pushing off from the pits, and we're about to get underway here in Krsko, Slovenia. Great crowd, good atmosphere, and they've been enjoying the facilities here at the stadium for the past 2 or 3 hours. They've arrived early, the crowd, the barbecues have been going, the bars and refreshment areas have been busy. It really is a party-type atmosphere. It's a humid evening. It's been a very hot day here in Krsko, and we're building up to another crucial phase of the World Championship. 3 meetings to decide who will be the 2013 World Individual Speedway Champion. And there is the battle for the medals as well, silver and bronze, and there's a battle for the top 8 too. When you bear in mind that Chris Holder, the reigning world champion, is going to need a pick from the organisers for next year. That surely is going to take one of the picks up. That leaves only 3. It's an interesting subplot to the World Championship. Round 10 here in Krsko, Slovenia. The bikes are ready, the riders are ready, and we're off and running shortly. Here's your lineup for the first race of the night. The home star, Matti Zegar, goes off the inside in the red helmet colour. Going off gate number 2 is blue. Jarek Hampel, the pole, chasing a bronze medal at least. Greg Hancock, winner in Latvia with a fantastic display. He's off gate number 3 in white. And going off the outside, Leon Madsen in the yellow helmet colour. He's an injury replacement, of course, coming in here tonight. Thomas Goller watching on. You've got experience of this track, Sam. Yeah. What are your recollections from when you raced on it?
I tell you what, the material on the racetrack, from what I watched on the practice the other day, is a lot more of it. Normally this track's a bit slicker, and it's a bit of a gator's paradise, and right on the inside, but I think it's a new racetrack for all these guys.
Here we go with the first race of the night here in Krsko. Krista Gardell is our referee, and Hampel's made a beauty off gate number 2. Stunning start from Jarek Hampel. Now Greg Hancock is going to try and go around the outside. Matti Zegar, the home hero, is 3rd. Hancock's got plenty of speed, but Jarek Hampel holds a sensible line here. On the inside, Greg Hancock is 2nd. Matti Zegar is 3rd. Leon Madsen at the back. But from gate number 2, it worked a treat, and your fellow countryman, Greg Herbie Hancock, is having a go here, Sam.
Yeah, he's got Zegar in the red helmet colour right behind him. If he makes a mistake, I'm sure he's going to nick a point from him. Right now, it's sensible just to keep as tight as you can there. Hampel made the start off of gate 2, got himself out in front. The track's going to take a couple of races before it starts building the outside line, and everybody out there knows here comes Zegar putting the pressure on Greg now.
Well, the lead is with Jarek Hampel. This will boost his hopes of a rostrum position in the World Championship. He's got the lead. 2nd place is Greg Hancock. We're going into the last lap of the first race of the night. Matti Zegar holding 3rd. Leon Madsen not making much of an impression, although he's closing in at the back now, battling for that 1 point. Remember, you need about 8 points to qualify for the semi-finals of the Grand Prix. The leader is Jarek Hampel. He's going to have 3 in the bag from the first race. Hancock 2nd. Matti Zegar was 3rd. That's a great start for Jarek Hampel. A reminder, before tonight, 96 points. That puts him on to 99 for the year for Jarek Hampel, and he's now 15 behind 2nd place, Emil Saifudanov, who, we remind you, out injured tonight, unfortunately for Emil. Matti Zegar in 3rd place there, grabbing a point, but here's the result. Jarek Hampel, the race winner, with Greg Hancock second. Third place there was Matty Zagar and Leon Madsen at the back. That's the first race of the night, done and dusted, all from the start. There's Zagar, the home hero, third place in the first race of the night. But Sam, an impressive start from Jarek Hampel, a man chasing a medal here this year.
Yeah, he's definitely focused, and we know how good Greg is out of the start, but Hampel makes it off gate 2, goes and covers the inside line just as he has to. Greg's now got to tuck back up the inside, position himself as best as he can to know Zagar. Here's another shot of Greg coming out the start. Doesn't make a bad start. The bike does go forward. Leon Madsen's just on that outside, but it's all about Hampel that makes it, gets in there, clamps the inside. Zagar's on the hunt, but as the race unfolds, it's all about just keeping your place, and there's Jarek Hampel right there, taking the 3 points.
Yeah, fine ride from Jarek Hampel then. Moves him on to 99 for the year. And it means that Nicky Pedersen is under a little bit of pressure in his race, which heat number 3 is his opener against the wildcard Conda and Darcy Ward and Ty Woofenden alongside Nicky in heat 3. That is a mouth-watering prospect, heat number 3. Those riders ready to do battle. We're up to heat number 2 here. Thomas Gollop is the man in red. Just wonder, why has it all gone wrong for Thomas Gollop in recent weeks?
You know, everybody can speculate the fact that maybe he's getting a little bit burnt out of the sport a little bit, but then he goes in some of his league performances and wakes himself back up again and does well. Ty Woofenden there, we're looking at, you know, he's a young guy in out there, and he's got all the talent, a lot of ambition, and possibly Thomas is maybe the pressure's a little bit too much. His home country, looking for him to go out there and repeat what he's been doing year after year. And we know he can do it. This is the kind of racetrack.
Thomas Gollop goes off the inside in red. Gate number 2 in blue is Andreas Jonsson of Sweden. His fellow Swede Antonio Lindback off gate 3. And another Swede, Freddie Lindgren, going off the outside in yellow. We're in Sweden in a fortnight's time at the magnificent new Friends Arena in Stockholm. That'll be live, 7 o'clock Swedish time, 6 o'clock UK time, and whatever time it is in the early hours of the morning in Australia. But you're welcome to join us, hope you can. And yeah, looking forward to that at Friends Arena. It is a fantastic venue. Tickets selling well as well, I'm told. Here we go, second race of the night. Lindback has been a disappointment this year. It's a battle of the Swedes. And Thomas Gollop off the inside gate. Jonsson's made it to 1 of 2, but Gollop, can he hold his line? He does, and switching up the inside is Lindgren. Oh! Lindgren in yellow, goes close, a switch from last to second, but the lead is with Thomas Gollop now. Freddie Lindgren holds second, Andreas Jonsson is third, and Antonio Lindback is at the back, but Thomas Gollop is a hard man to pass when he has that lead. He's kicking on, looking good, but Lindgren is having a real go here in second place.
Yeah, Lindgren had to use all of his wits there to get himself in that position, coming off of turn 2, done a good job wearing the yellow helmet coming right there, coming from gate 4, pushing Thomas all the way. Thomas looks over his shoulder, can spot that he's there. Lindgren's putting the pressure on. If he makes a mistake, he'll nip that one.
Yep, he looks quick, Freddie Lindgren. There's a battle at the back as well. 2 races in 1 here now. Thomas Gollop with that lead. Fredrik Lindgren is second. Andreas Jonsson holding third. Lindback's had a go, but he's just trailing now. And Thomas Gollop has had a miserable run in the GP series, but he's looking super quick here now. He's extending his lead, pulling clear down that back straight. Has seen off the challenge of Freddie Lindgren. Jonsson is third. Lindback's going to have a go towards the back for that 1 point, but Thomas Gollop opens his night in style. It's a Polish win in Heat 1 and in Heat 2. Hampel in Heat 1, Gollop in Heat 2, and that is the real Thomas Gollop standing up and being counted in race number 2. And if he's at his best tonight, he's going to be a dangerous competitor, that's for sure.
It's always good to get the first race out of the way. It gives you an indication of how you've set your bike up compared to what you did in practice. Thomas made the start, went out there, grabbed 3 points. Freddie followed him through.
Gollop the winner with Lindgren second. Andreas Jonsson was third. Antonio Lindback had a go there, but couldn't quite get through. And Lindback at the back in that one. So that's a second race of the night, and Gollop from the inside gate superb. Lindback gave it everything, but that sums up his season. But Gollop from the inside gate superb.
Yeah, you don't want to make a mistake there. That's sometimes a gift at a new racetrack. You know, the track's just been prepared for these boys. It's the second heat into it. Thomas goes out there. He just watched Matty Zagar go out there, not perform off the inside, so it's important that he goes out there, gets the points he can. But Andreas Jonsson looked like a real threat, just coming out of the start, but it was all about Thomas that took care of the first turn, secured that inside line. But he had Freddie come up the inside in the yellow there, made a great cutback. Now the pressure was on Thomas not to make any mistakes. He held on to his nerve for the 4 laps, took the 3 points. Freddie did a good job coming from the outside gate, squeezing in there for 2.
Good ride from Thomas Gollop, 2010 world champion. Now we move on to heat number 3, and what a lineup this is. The series leader, Ty Woofenden, is in this race, but he's off gate number 4, which has trailed in last in the opening race and got a second in the last one with a clever cutback from Freddie Lindgren. And he's up against 3 times world champion Nicky Pedersen. Darcy Ward is in the race as well, and the wild card Alexander Konda. And we have seen some wild card performances this season that have been right out of the top draw. The nerves will be jangling. What is going through Ty Woofenden's mind? He says he's just going to treat it as any other meeting, Sam.
Well, he's going to have to do something pretty special right now as he treats this one as any other meeting to get one over Nicky Pedersen in the white helmet color just on the inside of Ty there from coming from the outside gate. But when you got Darcy Ward sitting on gate 2, you know, if he's going to be worried about Konda on the inside, he's got to get over him first, and then hopefully the race develops coming off turn 2.
Konda off the inside, Ward off 2, Pedersen off 3, Woofenden off the outside. Of course, Ty has many, many friends back in Australia from the time that he spent in Australia as a youngster as well, born in Scunthorpe in the UK, now living back in the UK as well, and based in the UK for his European Speedway.
Yeah, Ty Woofenden's right next to Nicky Pedersen, right on gate 3. He means to get out of that start. Darcy Ward's on gate 2, close to Nicky Pedersen. It's going to be pretty hot in that first corner.
Krista Gardell is the referee. What a lineup this one is, and off the start. Nicky Pedersen's made a good one off 3. It's all very tight. Woofenden! And now Woofenden has got drive down the back straight. That is a sensational ride from gate 4. It's a long way to that first turn, but Woofenden made a lovely start and has got the lead here going into lap 2. Nicky Pedersen is fast. He's chasing after him. Darcy Ward is 3rd, and the wild card Konda is at the back. But what a start from Woofenden.
What focus from Ty Woofenden. He put himself right next to Nicky Pedersen off gate 3, dumped the clutch, had to work extra hard to get in that first corner just to get over the top of Nicky. Nicky had to settle down for 2nd place because Darcy Ward was right up his tailpipe.
We remind you that he was 3 points ahead of Emil Sayfutdinov in the world title race before tonight. He's going to double that lead now to a 6-point lead in the World Championship. Going into the last lap, Great Britain have not had a world champion since Mark Loram in the year 2000, Gary Havelock 1992. But Ty Woofenden here has a great opportunity to build up a bumper lead in the world title race. Wins his first race of the night, beats the 3-time world champion Nicky Pedersen, beats the brilliant talent that is Darcy Ward, wins from gate 4 with a jet-propelled start.
Yeah, look at him celebrate down that back straightaway. I tell you what, that was an accomplishment and a half. The race was loaded. He had to do everything in his short experience at this level to pull it off over guys like Nicky Pedersen. How many world championships has that guy won?
Woofenden the winner with Pedersen 2nd, Darcy Ward 3rd, and Alexander Konda at the back. A dream start for Ty Woofenden on a night where, you know, everybody thinks that this is a gift for him to move on and kick on, but it's still hard work out there.
Man, that race was loaded, Nigel, and it's not easy out there when you got a guy like Nicky Pedersen right there that would be pushing him, and he did push him all the way through the first corner. Look at Nicky dump the clutch. Ty just getting a little bit of an edge over him. Ty starts leaning left. Look at how Darcy comes underneath Nicky. Nicky then gets pushed into position. Darcy's still trying to open the door, but couldn't do it, and Ty Woofenden took care of business from the start, didn't make any more mistakes, kept it going. The race was pretty professional after that, but what a great race and what a good accomplishment.
Ty Woofenden has got Peter Adams back with him in the pits tonight. Peter missed Latvia, but Peter Adams is a former team manager of yourself, Sam, from your Wolverhampton days as well, and you know what a calming influence he is.
Oh, absolutely. He brings the reality to you. Make sure that you focus on the simple things and not get overwhelmed by the things that could easily overwhelm you. Jacko is team manager or team mechanic in there. There's Peter Adams right there, giving him word of wisdom. Good job done.
Yeah, what a start for Woofenden. And here we move on to heat number 4 now. After this race, every rider will have completed one ride of the DOODSON Slovenian FIM Speedway Grand Prix. We await the arrival of Niels Christian Iversen at the start line. Iversen has been in a fantastic run of form. Won the Grand Prix Challenge, so he's assured of a place in next year's competition. But he's already in the top 8 this year as well, in 5th place on 90 points before tonight. If he finishes in the top 8, as he should, then that would open the way for a first ever German rider to be in the GP next year. That is Martin Smolinski, the popular showman from Germany, who is popular on the grass track and the long track, rides for Birmingham in the UK, and is a real favourite at Perry Barr. And he is in line to become a GP rider next year, should Iversen book his place in the top 8. He'll be challenging for the top 3. Iversen off the inside, then Vasilik, then Dribble, then Kasperzak. That's your lineup. Heat number 4. Good start from Iversen off the inside. Vasilik is there. Kasperzak trying to go around the outside as well. Dribble up the inside, but the lead is with Niels Christian Iversen, whose brilliant form continues here. Going into turn 3, Kasperzak's trying the outside line now. Going high around the outside of Martin Vasilik. Super ride from Krzysztof Kasperzak, but Niels Christian Iversen with that lead. The Dane, super form that he's in, and kicking on and looking superb.
I would say when you look at this race, when they lined up with KKI on the inside there, you would definitely say that his possibilities were great. He went out there, he's not made any mistakes on that. KK is wrapped it up from the outside, trying to put the pressure on him, but it's all about settling down, and this race right now is Niels.
Every point counts. You need about 8 points to get into the semi-final of a Grand Prix. Sometimes you get away with 7 in an open field, really, when everybody takes points off each other. But Iversen has the lead now. He's a man in form. He is such a gentleman as well, one of the sport's nice guys, and actually won his first ever GP in Terranzano, Italy, after the World Cup break, and well-deserved it was as well. Iversen wins heat number 4. Second place in yellow was Krzysztof Kasperzak, and third in blue was Martin Vasilik, with Alice Trimmel, who of course has been out recently with that broken collarbone. He trails in at the back of heat number 4. So every rider has now completed one ride apiece. And Niels Christian Iversen, a fine ride from the Dane. Took his time just getting his setup right. He was the last to arrive at the start line. That was a fine ride from Niels Christian Iversen here in Krsko. Confirm the result of heat number 4 then. Niels Christian Iversen the winner. Krzysztof Kasperzak second. Martin Vasilik was third. Alice Trimmel at the back. The winners so far, Golub, Hampel, Iversen, and the series leader, Ty Woffingen.
Well, it's all about getting out of that start when you're on that inside. Niels made no mistakes there. Not to put any disgrace to anything, but the rest of the boys aren't really been in the best of form compared to what Niels has been accomplishing just of late. Being on that inside, he went out there, made a decent start, got himself going. KK positioned himself right there. It was all about seeing if he can pull something over Martin, and he did it. Here's KK coming off gate 4, squeezes in there. He's got some work to do, but it's Niels Christian Iversen that's out in front in the red helmet color there, and he never really looked back after that, and his setup looks to be okay. He's been really working hard, Nigel. I've watched him in practice, and he was a little bit reassuring that things are going to be good for him, and he went out there and proved it in that race.
Yeah, great start for Niels Christian Iversen, and 4 heats gone here in Krsko. And our man in the pits tonight is Jason Harold, and he is with the man of the moment, Ty Woffingen. Jace?
Well, Ty Woffingen, it was a long pull to that first corner, but you made it. How does it feel to get a win under your belt now?
Yeah, it feels good to get a win, but especially off gate 4 with Nicky off 3. Nicky's pretty good at the start, but made a blinder then, and yeah, just looking forward to my next races. Great start to the meeting, couldn't ask for anything better.
It was probably one of your most difficult heats, I would have thought, in the draw. As you said, you had Nicky on the inside, you had Darcy in that heat, but the bike pulled you well.
Yeah, definitely. I said yesterday, I think we found the setup in the very last block of practice, and it seemed to work well there. I don't know whether it's changed anything. It feels like it's spinning a little bit, but that's when I race, so it's a tough one.
Is that because of the track might change, that you might change your bike, or your bike needs a little bit of tweaking?
Just a little bit of tweaking. I was just spinning a bit down the straights, and if I can stop that spinning, then I'll go faster. So that's what we're going to aim to do, but I might leave it for my next one and see how I go.
Thank you, Ty. Good luck.
Thank you.
Staying very calm, staying very collected, and, you know, for a young man of 23, Sam, I know you've been close to him down the years, and, you know, we remember when he first came to the UK with his dad, Rob, and, you know, he's doing all the right things.
Yeah, he went, you know, he definitely got a lot going for him in the early days. He did really well in what they call the National League, and then did good in the Premier League, and has started in the Elite League as well.
Absolutely right. Well, Niels Christian Iversen, another man who's made a fantastic start and is in the form of his life. He's with Jason.
Well, Niels Christian Iversen, a fantastic win from the inside there, because it's a long haul to that first corner, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, track is fairly slick today. It's a bit different than yesterday on the practice, so yeah, it's important to make gates when it's slick, and yeah, it's always important to make good gates. So yeah, so far so good.
Well, you were in the last group of these 4 races, so you had a pretty good idea what you needed to do, I guess.
Yeah, you know, you just sort of watch the other ones, but yeah, you really need to get on the track yourself to really feel how it is. So yeah.
Anything that you might change with the bike for your next race?
Yeah, I might do a few changes, small ones, just to make it hook up a bit better, but we'll see how it goes.
All right, well done, Niels. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Niels Christian Iversen, a rider who has done his time in British Speedway when he first arrived and has come through the system. 4 heats gone, and let's have a look at the next 4.
Nicky Pedersen.
Second place in his opening ride for the 3-time champion.
Thomas Golub.
Oh, had a win. I'm sure he wants to repeat that.
Matej Žagar.
Third place in his opening ride for the home hero.
Krzysztof Kasprzak.
Yeah, sealed a second place there, but more work to do.
Antonio Lindback.
Has had a wretched season so far.
Jarek Hampel.
Oh, he's got it all to win, doesn't he? Podium spot, possibly.
Alexander Chonda.
You'll enjoy the experience of being the wild card here.
Martin Vatsuli.
Yeah, still learning the trade. It's tough out there.
Greg Hancock.
What a rider he is. He's a true legend.
Andreas Jonsson.
Yeah, trying to pick his form up in this GP in 2013.
Niels Christian Iversen.
A win in his opening ride. Can he follow that up now?
Darcy Ward.
We know what this guy's all about. Just give him the room and he'll race.
Aleš Drimmel.
Failed to score in his opening ride.
Ty Wolfenden.
A picture perfect out of the start in his first one.
Freddie Lindgren.
A couple of points and looked pretty quick in his opening ride as well, to be fair.
Leon Messen.
Yeah, just slipping in there. He's got to get the experience.
So there, the lineup for the next 4 races here then at the Slovenian Speedway Grand Prix. Plenty of Polish fans here tonight as well. And it was vital to make the start in those opening 4 heats, Sam.
It was, and it's that kind of a track too, Nigel. You know, I mean, there's a bit more dirt out there than I think the boys were probably expecting on this kind of a racetrack from the past experiences being here. It's got a bit of a sand to it, and even if you make a good start, you still got to chase the ultimate line. And but the start is very critical, and I believe from what I seen in practice the other day, there'll be some big lines appearing later on, and everybody's eyes are on it. Look at Nicky down there looking. He's telling the race director Tony there that you got to keep the track quite good, because I'm sure it's starting to dig little holes and change the guys on the racetrack direction when they don't want to go left and want to go right. It happens.
Yeah, interesting that Tony Olsen, the Grand Prix race director, talking to Nicky Pedersen there. So it does appear as though they are doing a little bit of extra track work. They're just watering the circuit at the moment. And plenty of Polish fans here. And they'll be happy as well with the start that they've made. Now, there's a blast from the past. Tony Rickardsson, the Swedish legend, 6 times world champion. Great to see him here tonight.
Yeah, look at him. He looks pretty sharp there at soaking up the atmosphere, and I'm sure he's probably giving his fellow Swedes a bit of a tip if he can. Nicky Pedersen cooling off. It is quite warm here tonight.
Yeah, and Tony Rickardsson, by the way, did have a practice on a Swedish track earlier this year, and did it in times similar to the league meeting itself. And you'll be back on a bike yourself recently, Sam.
Yeah, I have been. You know, there's we lost a really good guy, Joe Hughes, last year, and they're having a memorial meeting on the 16th of September at Wolverhampton, and I'm invited into that. So I figured I'd pay my dues, and it keeps me fit and looking forward to staying out of the old drinking holes, if you know what I mean. So getting on a bike definitely does my body good.
We wish you well for that, Sam.
Thank you.
And promises to be a good night that at Wolverhampton for raising money for Cancer Research UK and for British youth development as well. A week on Monday, Southern Sam back on a bike. These boys just can't stay away. You just can't stay off a bike, can you,
Well, I
Sam?
tell you, when I first got on one of these last year, messing around with these new silencers, first experience was them. It beat me. I went out there on a fresh track, a good tire, very difficult to ride them compared to the old style, the way we used to run them. I heard Kelvin talking to you one time in one of the shows out how difficult it is. Well, I can concur with that. It definitely is.
So the bikes are harder to ride now than they were?
Absolutely. They're not as forgiving. You got to keep the throttle pretty much pinned and ride in the top probably 20% of the power to be able to keep that back wheel spinning. If you roll it off too much, the bike then immediately changes direction. So that little experience I had, it beat me, and I thought if I practice a little bit, I'll get to know them a little bit better. And I'm not saying I've mastered them, but I understand them now.
Okay, so we build up to heat number 5. Krista Gardell puts the 2-minute time allowance on here. And we'll be back underway with heat number 5 in a few moments' time. Good crowd here at the Krsko Stadium tonight. Thomas Golub, what a performance in his opening ride. He's up against fellow countryman Krzysztof Kasperzak here in heat number 5. Nicky Pedersen will go off the outside gate, but I know Thomas Golub looked pretty relaxed. That man looks relaxed, doesn't he, chasing the world title, Ty Wolfenden, but Thomas Golub looked pretty relaxed and looked more like his old self, much happier with the way things are going.
Yeah, well, to be your old self, right now is the time to do it, because he's going to be starting on just on the inside of Nicky Pedersen, coming off of gate 4. Nicky will be, and Thomas is coming off gate 3. Just freshly dragged the track, put a little bit of water on it. Could be a little bit challenging to get up there, but you got to still focus.
All the riders present and correct, preparing for the start of heat number 5. Heat number 5 it is then. Krzysztof Kasperzak goes off the inside in the red helmet. Mati Zegar goes off gate 2 in blue. He is Slovenian, he's the home rider, but doesn't actually come to this stadium an awful lot, to be fair. Thomas Golub goes off gate 3 in white. Nicky Pedersen goes off the outside. Yes, this is the home of a second division football team here in Slovenia, and there are only around 5 Speedway meetings per year at this track. And Mati Zegar doesn't come here an awful lot. He's a busy man in the Polish league, in the British League with the Bellevue Aces, and quite clearly doesn't really have the opportunity to race here too often. But this is heat number 5. There's a great atmosphere. The home fans who've travelled here really getting behind Zegar off gate number 2. Here we go with heat 5. Takes rise. Zegar's made a good one off 2, but look at Nicky Pedersen off 4. Sweeps across the outside. Golub!
Unbelievable.
And Pedersen down the back straight. What a ride, and here comes Kasperzak as well. Golub's gone from 3rd to 1st, and Zegar's at the back. Nicky Pedersen, that was what he's all about. Determination from the outside gate. Kasperzak holds 2nd. Golub is 3rd, and Kasperzak is looking pretty quick here. Zegar at the back. That was drama in the early stages.
Second ride for all 4 of these riders, and they've spent a lot of time on the start line getting their boxes ready to go out of the gate. And Nicky made it off of gate 4, did really well. It all got mixed up. Golub thought he had a good chance of snicking it up the inside, coming off the back straightaway. Didn't do it. KK's got between them now, and the race is on.
Zegar will be disappointed to be at the back here in his home GP, but Nicky Pedersen kicking on into the last lap of this race. Nicky, remember, hunting down a medal this year. He is triple world champion, and he's pulling well clear down the back straight. All the hard work done early on there really was a very close call, but that is what Nicky Pedersen's all about. Full of determination. You can never write him off. He looks over his shoulder as he goes over the finish line. Kasperzak was 2nd with Golub 3rd, and Nicky Pedersen is absolutely delighted with that because he knows how hard he had to work, Sam.
He sure did. He had the same thing happen to him when Ty beat him, when Ty was on 4 and Nicky was on 3. So his concentration and his positive attitude paid off on that one. He did make no mistakes dumping that clutch just in time to get it over it, and the result stands.
Yeah, Nicky moves on to 5 points. points now, so he's looking good for the semis. He wins that race from Krzysztof Kasperzak second, Thomas Golub third. Mati Zegar trailed in at the back. It means now that Nicky goes to the top of the meeting on 5 with Kasperzak and Golub on 4 points apiece. So they will fancy their chances of progressing into the semi-finals as well. But that was terrific work from Nicky Pedersen from the outside gate. He really had to work hard for that.
Yeah, he knew exactly what he was all about there. Look at how he angled himself off gate 4. Thomas didn't get quite out of that start, but it's KK in the red on the inside. As he moves out to get off line, here's Thomas's chance. He tried to get close to Nicky coming off turn 2. Here comes KK right back up the inside going into 3. And here's KK out of the start. Can he do it? He knows he's got to do something off that inside gate, but it's all about Nicky Pedersen off gate 4. Done a really good job, stretched it from there, and never looked back.
Well, you know how determined Nicky Pedersen can be on this track, Sam.
Oh, yeah, you're going to remind me, are you?
Just tell us about it briefly.
All right, briefly, I was in here doing a GP challenge, and the first 2 went through as a knockout thing, and Nicky got me going into turn 3 and left me no room, and I ended up falling down.
Painful memories for Sam. Nicky Pedersen, though, 5 points, looking good, hunting down a podium spot this year. We build up now to heat number 6. Alexander Konda has changed his bike. He goes on a second machine here. Heat 6 of the DOODSON Slovenian FIM Speedway Grand Prix at the Stadion Matija Gubka. Back here after a 4-year absence, Martin Vasilik, the Slovakian, off the inside in red. Going off gate number 2 is Alexander Konda, the wild card off gate 2 in blue. Gate 3 in red, Jarek Hampel, an impressive winner first time out, and Antonio Lindbach going off the outside in yellow. It's been a disappointing season for Antonio with 35 points from the GP Series. Ty Woofenden, the series leader, watching on here ahead of heat number 6. Woofenden has to wait until heat number 8 before he's back out again. Here we go, and going away from the start, Vasilik's made a good one off the inside. Now Hampel will try to switch up the inside, but it is Vasilik who's got plenty of speed, pulls well clear, and Lindbach has come around the outside of Jarek Hampel. That's a bit of a surprise as well. Lindbach looks as though he's got quite a bit of speed here. The lead is with Vasilik, and Lindbach is all over him, having a real go. Jarek Hampel is third, Konda is at the back, but Lindbach is going high into the drive and really closing the gap on Martin Vasilik.
Yeah, their second time on this racetrack, they definitely figured it out there. There's Vasilik doing his best to stay in front, but Antonio's not losing sight. Wherever he throws the bike into the dirt, he gets a little extra drive. Might have done a little bit too much there, and Vasilik's getting away right now. But Hampel was very vulnerable this whole race so far. I don't know what's going on with his setup.
Yep, Hampel in third place. This will put him onto 4, and he's already seen Nicky Pedersen pick up a victory in his last outing. The race very much on for a medal. We still, of course, have no idea whether Emil Saifuganov will be in Stockholm in 2 weeks' time in the Friends Arena. And we do wish Emil well, we have to keep saying that. And the lead here is with Martin Vasilik. He's going to take the victory in heat number 6 from Antonio Lindbach and from Jarek Hampel as well. That was more like it from Lindbach. He had some determination there in that race, but Martin Vasilik, that puts him onto 4 points. That's a great ride from him, and it just underlines what he's capable of, Sam.
Absolutely. I mean, he had the gift of being on the inside there, and if you look at the lineup he had against him, there's a good chance with them, Alexander Konda just on the inside of him, and if Hampel made a good one off 3, but there's good chances of Martin taking the goods there, and Antonio, I'm sure, was inspired by the other 2 boys coming off that outside gate, and that proved to be a good one for him.
Vasilik, Lindbach, Hampel, the result there, and it means now that Vasilik is on 4, as is Jarek Hampel. Several riders on 4 points now after 6 races, and Martin Vasilik puts himself into contention for a semi-final place.
Well, it's all about getting out of that start on this racetrack tonight. These guys' second attempt out there. Hampel doesn't got his bike set up very good, but Antonio's got it working on the high line. He goes straight around Hampel coming out of turn 2, stretches it out down there. But it's all about, can we get to that first turn? Can we do the right part of the racetrack? And it was Martin Vasilik that did it from start to finish, and the rest of the boys had to pick up the consolation prize. And it was all about Antonio. Look at that bike stretch it. And a couple times he got really close to Vasilik, but couldn't get close enough to make any difference.
So, good ride. Martin Vasilik absolutely delighted with that 4 points, and Jarek Hampel on 4 as well. The race very much on for the medal positions. Niels Christian Iversen, I should mention, is in the medal hunt as well. So is Greg Hancock. and Zagar. A big night tonight would put him right in the battle for the top 3. But it's not gone well for Matty Zagar so far tonight. We know that Chris Holder will dip out of the top 8. Thomas Gollop battling for a top 8 place. Darcy Ward battling for a top 8 spot as well, although he missed Prague, Cardiff and Gorjov. 3 rounds Ward missed. Here's your lineup, and he's off the inside here in red, Darcy Ward. Gate number 2 is Niels Christian Iversen in blue, Andreas Jonsson. Gate 3 in white, Greg Hancock off the outside in yellow. They do have dedicated teams around them, these riders. Andreas Jonsson's pit crew. We were here last night for a reception courtesy of the club, and at 11 o'clock last night they were still working on AJ's bikes here. They're unsung heroes, the guys behind the scenes.
Oh, absolutely. The riders totally rely on them. The riders get up in the morning, they take the time to get to the breakfast at the hotel right before it shuts, if you know what I mean, but the mechanics have done their jobs.
So, heat number 7 it is then here in Slovenia. It's a good lineup, this one as well. 10 tries. Iversen off 2, brilliant. Watch out for Hancock off the outside gate, but Iversen's going to take him wide. That's a good move from Niels Christian Iversen, and Ward up the inside. Jonsson comes through as well. Hancock's been beaten up in the early stages. The lead is with Niels Christian Iversen. Second place, Darcy Ward. Hancock is going to come back up the inside of Jonsson and picks off 3rd place. Every point counts, remember, in the battle for the semi-finals, but Niels Christian Iversen is riding quite beautifully.
He sure is. He's got that thing really working good, Nigel. There's no doubt about it, but the track is taken. No prisoners. All 3 riders behind Niels are having little battles of their own, and I think half it's to do with the track changing conditions. Darcy's now putting the pressure on, getting up the speed, and it's still going. It's really a good race.
Yeah, it's a good ride here from Niels Christian Iversen in blue. Darcy Ward really trying to hunt him down, but Iversen has got so much speed, so much confidence. Success in the GP Challenge, the Danish Championship.
Look at
riding
that.
brilliantly. Ward having a real go. He's going to have one big swoop in turns 3 and 4. Darcy Ward's going to give it the big one, but he's got a fine rider in front of him. Niels Christian Iversen, masterful, in control. 2 rides, 2 wins for the Dane. His brilliant run of form continues, and full credit to the man.
Full concentration. He's got his bike working for good for him. Niels has made no mistakes in that one. Really determined ride for him. And I tell you what, if he rides that way for the remainder of the meeting, he's going to be hard to beat.
Yeah, remember, Iversen, one of the riders in the hunt for a medal. Won the GP Challenge. His place is safe for next year, but might not need qualification from the Challenge. Top 8 looking good for him, and here he is on top of the Grand Prix. 6 points from 2 rides. Is the one of only 2 riders who are unbeaten. Woofenden is the other one, but of course he's only ridden 1 ride and he's out in the next one.
Yeah, well, Niels is only 5 points from being off of a podium finish in the overall series if the rest of the boys stopped at the moment. But that's a good accomplishment. He takes no prisoners when he's on the inside here, coming out of gate 2, going for it. But look at Ward, really working the racetrack pretty hard. Gets out there, beats up, as you mentioned, beat up Greg Hancock. Greg Hancock has a resort to last place. Greg does everything he possibly can to getting off that gate 4, which seemed to be working for the rest of the boys, but he just couldn't get one over Niels going into turns 1 and coming off turns 2, and then here it all comes. There's Darcy right up the inside, and AJ follows him through. Now Greg's got to take count, cuts back up the inside as Niels goes out there and enjoys fresh air from start to finish.
Absolutely right. Superb ride from Niels Christian Iversen. From Denmark, rides for the Kings Lynn Stars back in the UK. And a man who is quite clearly loving every bit of his Speedway. Greg Hancock, 3 points from 2 rides. Needs to work on that if he's going to reach the semi-finals here tonight. A couple of big dates just to remind you of back in the UK. A reminder of that Joe Hughes meeting on the 16th of September, raising money for Cancer Research UK. The man alongside me, Sam Ermolenko, in that meeting at Wolverhampton. And on the 28th of September at Berwick Shielfield Park, Berwick against Sheffield for Ricky Ashworth, a benefit meeting. And we wish everybody connected with those 2 events the very best of luck. Here's heat number 8 of the World Championship here tonight. Madsen off the inside, Freddie Lindgren off gate 2 in blue, Ty Woofenden, the series leader, going off gate 3 in white, and off the outside in yellow is Alice Trimmel. Woofenden, all eyes on him. Peter Adams, who has been in his pit corner all season. He used to work with Bruce Pennell, who won the world title. Ollie Olsen, former world finalist, worked closely with yourself, Sam, throughout your career as well. And we build up to heat number 8 here now. Can Woofenden make it another race win? He's He's up against his Wolverhampton teammate Lindgren on the inside of him here. Woffington's made a good start going into that first turn, but Lindgren has as well. Now Woffington's going to have to go wide. Lindgren tries to take him out wide, but Woffington's got the speed, and Woffington looks over his shoulder. Lindgren is second place right now. Third in yellow is Alice Trimmel. At the back at the moment is Leon Madsen. Ty Woffington being chased hard by Freddie Lindgren, but Woffington held his nerve. He knew that Lindgren was trying to take him out wide, and understandably so. That's what Speedway's all about. But Woffington is kicking on here and looking good for a second successive win.
Total concentration from gate 3. Looks over his shoulder, sees that he's got this one wrapped up. The race was very determined. And I can tell you right now, Freddie won't be happy taking second, but he worked really hard in that first lap to see if he can actually push Ty. But Ty's bike is so fast, and Ty's on form.
Well, these two in the first two positions are more used to team riding in the UK with Wolverhampton, but tonight they're deadly rivals. Ty Woffington, who came back to the UK from Australia, rode in the Junior League in the UK for Scunthorpe's junior team, rode for Rye House in the Premier League, graduated to the top flight with Wolves, and here he is now 9 points clear in the World Championship race. He is going about his business quite magnificently here tonight.
There's no doubt about it. He's focused on what he wants to do. He plays it down a bit, as we spoke about. Doesn't want to get everybody excited and wishing, and he's got to go out there and earn it, and he's done it right there. Gate 3 makes a tremendous start, Nigel, and takes another 3 points.
Doesn't want to get anybody excited. Can you imagine everybody watching this at home in the UK? They're not excited, Sam.
He wants to make sure right now that everybody leaves him alone, if you know what I mean. That's what it's all about. He wants to go out there and earn it the right way. Earning it is earning points, and that's what he's doing.
Everson and Woffington, maximum men so far.
That's great stuff, I can tell you that. He knows exactly.
So Ty Woffington, Mr. Cool, handling the pressure superbly. 2 rides and 2 wins alongside Niels Christian Everson.
That's it. What a tremendous start from Ty Woffington in there. Freddie pushed him right up to the inside coming off of turn 2. Tried to take all the racetrack for him. Fair ride for him. Look at old Ty looked over at Freddie and said, come on, boy, let's go. Then at that point, Ty knew he had to put the back wheel in the dirt to be able to stretch the old game. Boy, was going good.
Yeah, super ride.
Yep, we're there right there. Look at that determination from Ty to keep going. His crew looks on. It's all about the start at this point. Ty makes it. Freddie pushes him. Good first corner all the way to the end. The boys are ecstatic in the pit. All that work paid off.
They call it the arm swag or something in this modern day youngsters term. I don't know. Anyway, it was a wheelie, wasn't it?
It sure was. Yeah, it's a fist pump, I think is what they call it.
Okay. 2 rides and 2 wins for Ty Woffington, and really is going about his business perfectly here, and puts him onto 9 points tonight. Good race that one, and Freddie Lindgren was in the mix and really battling hard there. He's now with Jason Harold.
Well, 2 second places, Freddie. Fast Freddie is back in the Grand Prix series by the looks of it.
It's been pretty solid heats, and I'm quite happy so far. And I just try to take 1 heat at a time today and keep their focus on me and what I should do all the time.
We saw your injury, of course, earlier on in the series. Are there any more repercussions? As all the pain, all the strain gone?
Not really. It's just about me coming back race sharp in my head, I think. I have struggled a bit more than I expected after my injury, and it's been pretty tough to come back, but it's getting better and better by each meeting.
How has the track been for you so far this evening after your 2 rides?
It's pretty cool. It's a lot more slicker than we had on practice yesterday, and it's a lot about making the start and keep the momentum going, keep the speed up.
All right, Freddie, we'll let you grab a breather. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that was hard work, that second place, but he looks a lot better, Freddie Lindgren, tonight, doesn't he?
Yeah, he did comment the fact that, you know, during practice, Nigel, the track did create a lot of dirt, and it's always really hard to come here on race day and predict exactly how and which bike you might choose, but, you know, they got to do the job.
Let's hear some reaction now from Greg Hancock with our man Jason Harold.
Well, Greg Hancock, how do you sum up your evening so far after 2 rides? Are you where you need to be?
Well, you know, it's tough out there, of course, but you know, it feels like we're on par, we're on pace, and need a couple of wins now. That'll be the big turning point.
That was a tough first corner that Niels Christian Iversen put on you there in your right.
Yeah, it was. You know, that's racing. Everybody's pushing for the right line there, and I got left hanging quite a bit, but you know, I'll be back.
We'd expect nothing less, I'm sure. How is your setup going then? Because a lot of the boys are saying it's a little bit different out there from practice.
Yeah, it is a little bit different. I mean, and we haven't been to this track for quite a few years now, so it's kind of like going back to school a little bit and get the right adjustments. But you know, we're working our way through. Every heat's got to get a little bit better and aim for the final.
It wouldn't be a Grand Prix without asking you what tyres you're running tonight.
That's right. Well, I'm kind of on a mix, but at the moment with the golden one.
All right. Thank you, Greg. Good luck.
Thanks.
Yeah, how does he feel, Sam? What's going through Greg's mind? Of course, he's battling for the top 8. And what's going through his mind, do you think?
I think it's a little bit unfortunate they didn't make a better start in that race, and he won't be looking to put his head down. He'll be looking at what little bit of tweaks, you know, might help him next time. And, you know, if he has to get pushed out that outside line, can he get the bike to go a little bit faster? Him and the boys in the pits will be discussing that, and maybe they can tweak the thing. I don't know if it's the tire side of it, even though that is an issue. He seems like he's been educating a lot of the other riders, Nigel, on which tire and how they perform. I've heard Ty Woofenden talking about it in depth.
Darcy Ward.
Only 3 points so far for Darcy.
Matej Žagar.
Oh, still to perform the way he wants to on this track.
Aleš Drimmel.
Just the 1 point. It's tough when you're a deputy, when you're a stand-in.
Antonio Lindbach.
Likewise, still struggling, only 2 points underneath him.
Jarek Hampel.
A win and a third.
Niels Christian Iversen.
Perfect. 2 wins, 6 points.
Thomas Golob.
Wow, what a lineup Heat 10 is. Golob in there as well with a win and a third.
Ty Woofenden.
Yeah, Ty Woofenden doing the business, matching Niels.
Martin Vatsuli.
He'll feel a lot happier after his win last time out.
Greg Hancock.
A little bit frustrated, but I'm sure he'll bounce back.
Nicky Pedersen.
Really worked hard in his last outing.
Freddie Lindgren.
Found a little bit of form, at least he's on pace, 2 seconds.
Andreas Jonsson.
Just the 1 point. Disappointment for AJ.
Alexander Chonda.
Big learning curve for this guy, but good experience, I'm sure.
Leon Messen.
Yet to score, the deputy.
Krzysztof Kasprzak.
Showing a little bit of talent out there, knows how to get on around big tracks, and we've seen a little bit of that.
Yep, so we've had the first 2 rounds of races here, and the home man, Matti Zegar, is out in the next race, heat number 9. Track watering going on as they prepare for the next race, heat number 9. Sam, we have seen how important it is to make the start, but do you expect the track to come to the riders a little bit more later and perhaps create more passing for us?
Well, the way the weather is, it's still fairly warm here, and I think the water is pretty important to kind of keep a racetrack for these guys. Their setups, I think, were a little bit mixed up with the fact that the practice had a little bit of heavy dirt on it, and they've now had to go back to maybe a little bit of a setup on whether they're riding their primary bike or their second bike. What they felt after practice was the best one to ride tonight, and they got to find a new bike maybe, and getting out of the start is probably the biggest challenge for them right now.
Krzysztof Kasperzak, Antonio Lindbach here, who's out in heat number 9. We know what a class act Antonio Lindbach can be. It's so frustrating to see a rider struggling like that, isn't it?
It is. I mean, even the best guys, you know, will have their bad patches, but Antonio's been really struggling to find any kind of consistent form, and I would hate to what would be going through his mind right now. You know, he's trying to do whatever he can, and he did have a good last race, so maybe he can bounce back in the next one.
Well, Matti Zegar actually declined the opportunity to ride in the Grand Prix Challenge, and is currently in the top 8 with, what, 85 points to his name. With Thomas Golob now scoring 4 points tonight, he's on 77. So Matti Zegar quite clearly did that to calculate as though he was pretty safe in the top 8, Sam.
Well, he's got to go out there and get some more points tonight. I mean, he hasn't done tremendously well, probably on his home soil here. He's only got 1 point, and if he's sitting on 85, he's got Chris Holder just behind him on 8, and we know that Chris is going to be back in the series. But Thomas Golob sitting on 77 and 9th, and Darcy Ward at 71. Very reachable, very reachable.
Well, Darcy Ward 15 points behind Matti Zegar. Darcy is a danger man, no doubt about that. Ty Woffenden staying cool, staying calm ahead of a big Heat 10. And what a lineup Heat 10 is. But before that, Heat number 9 is coming up here in the Stadion Matija Gubka, and the Slovenian Grand Prix continues shortly. So the riders emerge out onto the circuit here. A big race coming up for Matti Zegar. Needs points here. The man in white has got to get it right. And Darcy Ward, who has 3 points to his name, he's looking for his first win of the night as well. He's up against Lindback, a man out of form. Alice Drimmel just back after a broken collarbone. And Alice Drimmel does find it tough in the GP when he's standing in for Chris Alderson.
Yeah, it's hard to really build your whole program around coming in at such a late stage of the Grand Prix series and going out there and performing as well as everybody else. It is difficult. But in this race, if we were to say, with Darcy Ward on that outside, Antonio Lindback having a good second place in this last outing, Zegar is going to have a lot of work for him himself to do coming out of gate 3. They freshly just watered the track a little bit. It's not tremendously wet looking down on the track, but that will definitely affect him getting that first corner.
Jare Campbell has got 100 Grand Prix points. Ty Woffenden has got 123. So when you look at it like that, if there's no more Emil Seifudenov this year, Woffenden has a 23-point lead with 2 rounds to go. But this is heat number 9. Here's your lineup for heat number 9, then Antonio Lindback going off the inside in the red helmet. Alice Drimmel, who's found life tough tonight. He goes off gate 2 in blue. Gate 3 is Matti Zegar, the Slovenian, in the white helmet colour. And Darcy Ward goes off the outside in yellow. Hard to keep remembering that it is Darcy Ward's first year as a full-time Grand Prix rider and has scored double figures in every round that he has completed. But tonight, 3 from 2 rides. So a lot of work to do for him and for this man Zegar as well on home shale. This is heat number 9. There is a real special atmosphere whenever Matti Zegar takes to the track. There's Slovenian flags all around this circuit from supporters who want Zegar to do well. Here we go, heat number 9. Good start from Lindback and Drimmel off the inside 2 gates, and it's Lindback who goes wide, and at the inside is Zegar! Now Lindback round the outside has blasted past Zegar. Third now, Ward comes up the inside of Alice Drimmel, but it's Zegar holding second ahead of Darcy Ward. But Antonio Lindback finally showing the true kind of form that we know he's capable of, and he would love a big night tonight with Stockholm just 2 weeks away.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Antonio's second place in his second ride proved to be the right setup. Zegar's made a huge mistake. Chance for Darcy Ward right up the inside. Darcy takes it. Zegar's now got to try to come back at him.
So Darcy Ward spotted the gap, and he was there to take the opportunity. Antonio Lindback looking superb here, riding quite beautifully and looking very quick indeed. Zegar just lost control of the motorbike momentarily. The biggest score we've seen from Lindback this year was 8 points in Gothenburg, which was the 3rd round of the World Championship. This is going to put him on to 5 points from 3 rides. Much more like it from Antonio Lindback of Sweden. Darcy Ward second. Matti Zegar knows that may not be enough for him. He's really going to have to win his last 2 rides to get through to the semi-final of his home Grand Prix. He's shaking his head. He's clearly not happy. But Lindback, a different rider.
Absolutely. Lindback made no mistakes getting to that first corner first over the rest of the boards. Darcy tried to get over Zegar. Zegar worked it the best he possibly could do. Became vulnerable because Drimmel made a decent start out of gate 2. And we kind of we didn't really watch him, did we?
Lindback, Ward and Zegar. The finishing order there. Heat number 9. It means that Lindback moves on to 5. Darcy Ward's on 5 as well. And it gives them an opportunity, both those boys, of challenging for a top 8 place and a place in the semi-finals here in Krsko, Slovenia tonight. What a ride from Antonio Lindback, the Brazilian-born Swede. High fives. That's the real Antonio Lindback.
Yeah, Antonio, look at that. Drimmel makes a good one just alongside of him. Antonio in red pushes Drimmel up a little bit, leaves the door wide open. Zegar makes the slickest move up the inside, but he's trying to find that extra traction down that back straightaway without the result. But there's now Darcy Ward in the yellow claiming 3rd place. Here's another view of Lindback getting to that first corner first. Drimmel's right with him. The door now opens up. Lindbäck's got to move Dremel high. Zagar takes a full advantage of that little hole right there, but right behind both of those guys, you got Darcy Ward trying to make something out of that poor start coming off of gate 4. Clinches that second spot by passing Zagar coming off the last corner and positions himself. Done a good job. A good result for Darcy, but a better result for this guy, Lindbäck, winning it from start to finish.
Great ride from Antonio Lindbäck. He thanks his engine. You Speedway riders, quite often you do that, don't you? Just tapping the engine, saying thank you very much. 5 points apiece, and both riders, as I said, in with a chance of a semi-final spot here in Krsko here tonight. Good atmosphere and a hugely enjoyable evening. Heat number 10. Racing not spectacular. It's very fast, but not spectacular at the moment. I'm sure it's going to get better and better as the night goes on. And look at this for a lineup. Ty Woffenden, 9 points ahead in the World Championship race against his rival Emil Seifudenhoff, who's out tonight. Thomas Golub goes off gate number 2 in blue with 4 points. Niels Christian Iversen, a man very much on form off gate 3 in white, and gate 3 can work. And off the outside, Jari Campbell, a man chasing possibly the silver medal if we don't see Emil again this season. And his manager has said a 5% chance of him riding again. A silver medal is very much up for grabs. This is heat number 10. Woffenden off the inside has made a beauty. Hampel now off the outside. Woffenden's going to have to take him out wide. He's going to have to ride mid-track. And how much drive has he got there? He has blasted his rivals away. Ty Woffenden of Great Britain with a sensational move. Golub is second. Niels Christian Iversen is third. And Jari Campbell is trailing at the back. But when you look at the standard of the opposition, Woffenden is pulling clear and looking super quick here, Sam.
Unbelievable. That guy just put his back wheel right where he wanted. The bike just pulled away from the other three. As you say, a very highly contested heat. When we were building this one up, Golub's line is second place. Hampel's desperately trying to make sure he's going to not get out of that fourth spot, but Niels is holding on to third, pushing Thomas Golub. But the man in front, Ty Woffenden.
Yep, looking good, Woffenden. Second place here is Thomas Golub. Niels Christian Iversen is going to be beaten for the first time tonight. He's still pushing Golub hard here. This will put Thomas Golub onto 6 points and in with a chance of the semi-finals. A blow to Hampel, who started brilliantly. But what about this young man? It's a hat-trick of wins. It's 3 victories for Ty Woffenden. So it has to be Woffy, Woffy, Woffy!
You go, boy, you go. Oh, what a tremendous effort from Ty Woffenden. He made no mistakes on that one, I can tell you. He was focused to get off that inside line. He knew the competition on the outside of him was going to be really tough. What a result.
I'm being told hashtag Woofy, Woofy, Woofy is trending on Twitter. Good to see. Woffenden the winner. Golub the winner, the second place there. Iversen was third. Woffenden a maximum man on 9 points from 3 rides, and significantly 12 ahead of Emil Seifudenhoff in the World Championship race. And we just wait with bated breath now to see whether Emil will make it for Stockholm in a fortnight's time. But a brilliant start from Woffenden off the inside.
Yeah, and heat 10 here, he made no mistakes getting to that first corner. He had to move up on a high side of that one to knock off the drive that Hampel could possibly have coming off 4. Thomas slips underneath him and going into 3 and 4. It takes care of that second place, but it's all about Niels Christian Iversen then putting the pressure on Thomas, seeing if he can actually hint him offline to have a go. Here's Hampel on the outside in the yellow, working Ty, but Ty just blast away from these trio right here going into turn 3. Unbelievable speed down that back straightaway. Really impressive to see for a guy that's going out there trying to get his first World Championship. Good stuff.
What a performance from Woffenden. Lots of questions before this meeting. How would he handle the pressure? It's almost like an open goal in football terms for Woffenden tonight with his nearest rival on the injured list. But we have to remember as well, he suffered a badly broken collarbone in Cardiff on June the 1st. He's had his injury problems as well. All part of Speedway.
And it's still broken. He's just got a plate kind of holding it together.
Yep. So riding through the pain barrier, good point, Sam, absolutely right. As we build up here to heat number 11. And Freddie Lindgren, who's looked very determined tonight. We've got 5 world titles amongst 2 riders here. Lindgren off the inside. Nicky Pedersen off gate number 2. on 5 points. Greg Hancock goes off gate number 3 and Martin Vasilik off the outside. We've got 5 world titles between Nicky and Greg. We've got 1 world title alongside me in the commentary box in Sam Ermolenko. We've got 6 world titles in the certain gentleman in the crowd here tonight, Tony Ricardson. It's great to see Thomas Gollop in the pits. He's a world champion as well.
And there's a lot of experience in these two guys. How many races have Nicky and Greg together combined competed in this Grand Prix series? We know Greg's not missed one yet, and he's coming out of gate 3. Can he get one over Nicky going into the first race?
Here we go then with heat number 11, and it's a great start from Nicky Pedersen from gate 2. Sensational start. Lindgren is second, coming up the inside. In the yellow helmet here is Martin Vasilik, and Hancock's at the back now. Oh, Lindgren almost got out of shape by clipping the back wheel there, and Lindgren comes through now. That's ruthless from Freddie Lindgren in red. He's taken Vasilik out. It's an opportunity for Hancock now in third as well. Hancock's come through into third. He's having to work real hard for his points tonight, but Nicky Pedersen has the lead. Freddie Lindgren really having a go. He is one determined rider, Freddie Lindgren. Hancock third, and at the back here is Martin Vasilik.
There's a heck of a lot of guts out there. They're all really working it. It's all about Nicky, though. He made the start, got himself in front. Greg's possibly going to end up being third if he keeps it going on there, but Vasilik or Freddie Lindgren, oh man, Freddie's doing a good job. Look at that. He's still got a lot of pressure on him going down that front straightaway. Last lap.
Nicky Pedersen kicking on, looking good for 8 points from 3 rides. That should be enough for the semi-finals for him. Lindgren is going to get a third successive second place if it stays like this, and he really has not had to work any harder than this tonight in his Grand Prix career. Nicky Pedersen with a fantastic win. Second place was Freddie Lindgren. Greg Hancock was third. Martin Vasilik, who was well and truly in contention early on, has finished at the back of the race. That was hard fought between those riders. Real tough speedway there, Sam.
Yeah, it's tough out there. As we said, this track is not really lending the boys to actually get any room between each other. There's some lines out there. The track is cutting up a little bit. It's all really critical to get out of that start. If you don't make it, you got a big race in your hands.
Nicky Pedersen from Freddie Lindgren from Greg Hancock. And it means now that the standings are that Ty Woffenden is on a maximum of 9, Nicky Pedersen on 8, Niels Christian Iversen on 7, Freddie Lindgren on 6. Would love a semi-final appearance tonight, that's for sure. And a whole host of riders on 4 points, hunting down a top 8 place tonight, Sam.
That's right. I tell you, Antonio Lindback could possibly make his first semi-final cut the way he's going tonight as well. Here we go, we watched the replay there. It's all about Nicky Pedersen making a good start off of that gate 2, gets himself in front. Freddie Lindgren's on the inside, but moves a little bit too wide. Gives Vasilik a bit of an opportunity to come up the inside there. Then Freddie turns the throttle on a little bit harder and pushes Vasilik straight out of the way. Greg Hancock's left trailing in the back, but he's able to find an opportunity. Here's another view of Nicky Pedersen coming out of the start. Means business getting to that first corner. Roughed him up a little bit, but he never looked back from there. Determined from start to finish. And a good job from him, but it's just one of those racetracks where you can get yourself into a little bit of trouble if you start surfing around too much.
So, good ride from Nicky Pedersen, who's riding quite beautifully here. And a determined character, Tom P. Madsen, a former rider, part of Nicky's pit crew, of course. And they're working well as a team, and good to see Nicky smiling. Quite clearly enjoying his time in Slovenia.
Yeah, there's
Nicky
no doubt
Pedersen.
about it. Yeah, he's he feels good on the race bike. I was watching him in the practice, and I watched all the riders, and every time he came in there, had that little bit of a smirk of a smile, saying, "I understand this racetrack." That's the impression I got out of him. He means business.
So we move on to heat number 12, and after this race, every rider will have completed 3 rides here in Krsko. Christoph Kasperzak goes off the inside in red, the pole. Leon Madsen, gate 2 in blue, finding life tough tonight. Yet to score a point. Neither is Alexander Konda of gate number 3 in white, the wild card. And Andreas Jonsson, just a point to his name, going off the outside in yellow. If Jonsson wants to keep alive his hopes of a semi-final spot tonight, he really needs to win this race.
And you think this race is the one he can do it.
Heat number 12. Good start from Kasperzak off gate number 1. It's a super start from him. Konda's trying the inside line here. Looking at the outside is Andreas Jonsson, but Madsen's got second place. Konda's third. And at the back is Andreas Jonsson. That's a surprise. The lead here is with Christoph Kasperzak. When I say a surprise, not on current form perhaps, but on caliber of rider, with all due respect. Madsen second, Konda third. AJ's having a nightmare. But the lead here is with Kasperzak, who's being chased hard by Leon Madsen.
Leon Madsen is looking at me right into that dirt line right there. Kasperzak stayed on the inside. I mentioned about how you can surf around this racetrack to grab whatever track you can. Madsen's going fairly deep. He's found the line. He's got his eyesight on getting past Kasperzak, but he's not done it yet. Down the back straightaway, it seems to be at the same pace.
Christoph Kasperzak, he knows that his Grand Prix future is secure after his win in the Grand Prix Series, the Grand Prix Challenge, I should say. A determined rider, we know that. On his day, capable of beating anybody in World Speedway. He's got maximums in the World Cup for Poland. He's kicking on here, and Leon Madsen's packed up. That is a nightmare for Madsen. His miserable night continues, and Alexander Konda steps up for second. Andreas Johnson for third. And Leon Madsen will go over the line to finish the race, but that is a huge disappointment for him. And it's unlikely now that he is going to get near the semi-finals, Leon Madsen. Such a shame for the Dane. And Alexander Konda, the wild card, is celebrating with a wheelie as we see Christoph Kasperzak, but Konda celebrating second place like you wouldn't believe.
Pretty excited about him. He's not really on the pace the first couple of races, but that was a result for him to get that.
So let's take a look at the result here. It's a win for Christoph Kasperzak, and that puts him on to 7 points. He's in a handy position. Konda second, the wild card. Jonsson was third. Leon Madsen at the back. Now, these are the standings after 3 rides apiece then. The battle is on for the top 8, but the leader of the meeting is Ty Woffernan with a maximum 9 points. Great ride from Christoph Kasperzak there, Sam.
Yeah, I would say in that heat, the way the lineup is looking at the performances of the boys so far, they've not really scored good. So Kasperzak on that inside, they really should have took advantage of it. So should have AJ, but he went a little bit too wide in the first corner, got himself in a bit of a muddle there coming down the back straightaway. Too much traffic and couldn't make anything up. He was just kind of gifted that point with the fact that Madsen lost his bike in the last corner. But Kasperzak did it from the inside gate there, start to finish. And like I said, these boys haven't been performing that well throughout the night, and that was the race right there they should have took advantage of, and he did it.
Yeah, disappointment for Madsen. Commiserations to him. 12 heats gone then here in Slovenia. Well, Kasperzak, we know what a dangerous competitor he is. He is a very, very classy rider on his day. Nicky Pedersen has been in the thick of the action tonight. Has only dropped 1 point so far. Having a great night. He's with Jason Harold.
Nicky Pedersen, 3 rides, 8 points. It's going according to plan.
Yeah, absolutely. We still modify a little bit on the track and on towards the bike, you know, and it's okay, you know, it's a racing track, but you got to bring the gating glove to make good starts and get out of it. So, no, so far so good.
Well, you got your gating gloves in your second and your third ride, so heading comfortably for the semi-finals. You seem quite relaxed this weekend. Would that be the case?
Well, I tried the last couple of Grand Prix to just steady off a little bit, but when you get on the track, you got to be fired up 100%. You know, everybody here, you know, is here for racing. You know, here for the point. Everybody's waiting for the point. Everything seems to be quite close, you know. So no, I'm fighting for the medals.
Well, you've got yourself in that silver medal position now. Is that something you've thought about, or you just want to get as far as you can in this Grand Prix?
Of course, we've been talking about it, but that's not really what I'm looking at. I can see even Iversen and Hamble are doing well as well. So everything is just close, you know. So I need to keep focused and keep the momentum and just keep scoring the points.
Thank you, Nicky. We'll let you get back. Thank you.
Yeah, looking relaxed and riding quite beautifully, Sam.
Yeah, it's important to you know, he told me earlier in the series that he'd made too many mistakes early on. He has no chance of you know, getting a win out of the World Championship. But at the end of the day, he says, I got to go out there and really have a good job.
Niels Christian Iversen has continued his good work tonight. He was involved in a fine race earlier, and he is with Jason Harold.
Well, Niels Christian Iversen, 2 wins, great start. What happened in the last outing?
I just missed the start a little bit. We made a few changes to the bike to make it better. I lacked a little bit of speed in the one before, but yeah, we got to fix it again and focus on the next one.
You seem to be getting plenty of drive at the inside, but wasn't there enough dirt there to pass Gollop?
No, I couldn't really get the edge of him, but you know, he saw me coming a few times, so he could sort of decide his own line. But yeah, we just gotta move on and hopefully make it better in the next one.
Well, you're on course for the semi-finals. That, of course, must be the first goal in any Grand Prix for a Grand Prix rider.
Yeah, of course. You know, it's just important to get points every race, avoid any last places, and yeah, getting as many points as possible.
Did you know you've overtaken Greg Hancock with that victory over him earlier?
No, I didn't realize.
Well, you're going in the right direction. Good luck, Niels.
Definitely, thank you.
Yeah, good stuff from Niels, riding well and in a great position in the World Championship as well, now in 5th place and challenging. Well, you've got Hampel 3 ahead of him, Nicky 5 ahead of him. Battle well and truly on for a rostrum place. Now, Ty Woffenden, very much the man of the moment. He's with Jason.
Well, Ty, we spoke to you after your first race, but the night's just getting better and better for you.
Yeah, I've had a few good races now. Gate 2 in my next one. Hoping to do the same, but you know, it's tough, so just go out there and do what I've been doing in my last ones.
How is the track behaving then now after you've had 3 rides? We're over halfway through the meeting.
There was a little bit less dirt on it today from practice, and it's holding up a lot better. It was pretty rough and choppy in practice, so yeah, they're doing a good job, and yeah, just gonna keep that setup right and keep scoring points.
Well, you're increasing your lead at the top now. Is that something that's on your mind, or is it just about the next race?
Not at all, man. It's just about tonight, and then, you know, then we'll go to Sweden and just worry about Sweden, and then we'll go to Torren and worry about Torren. So, yeah, really enjoying it. Just a quick one for the fans. I got loads of T-shirts left. www.tywoffenden.com. Thank you.
Ty, thank you.
Thanks.
Fair play to him, Sam.
Yeah, no doubt. He's focused, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. And never want to miss a trick there. And, well, Antonio Lindback back to his best, and great to see. Here's Jace.
Well, Antonio Lindback, that race win, that's more like it, isn't it?
Yeah, it was much better. We have done a few changes on the bike, and I feel I was getting some grip out there and start to score points, so it's good.
Well, not only getting grip, but getting speed and overtaking as well.
Yeah, it was much better, you know. Like, I feel more confident, and like I said, I'm getting more speed, and I can feel it in my whole body, so I'm really happy, but we have a lot of work to do and many races to go.
Well, the Swedish guys generally haven't really shone in the Grand Prix series due to one thing and another, but both you and Freddie are going well tonight. Are you kind of spurring each other on? You're pitting next to each other?
Yeah, no, it's nice, you know. We do a good meeting, you know, and like I said, we had every Swedish guy is struggling this year, but, you know, it's life, you know, and we do our best, and today we look like we start to take some points, so it's good.
We know you took a little bit of time out mid-season. How are things now?
No, it's much better now, you know, like we have gotten a lot of new engines. I've changed my whole team, and I'm feeling really pleased with everything, and they helped me a lot, so I'm really happy.
Antonio, well done, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, looking a lot happier, Sam.
Yeah, proving it by scoring points on the racetrack and doing it in good fashion.
So, Ty Woffenden talking to Jacko as mechanic and Peter Adams, and they couldn't have got any better for them.
No, I mean, when you go out there and if you have a strategy, I seen Pete have a bit of a team meeting at the hotel, and they were at lunchtime having a good conversation. Obviously, they're getting dividends from that.
Here's the next 4 heats then. What a disappointment in his home Grand Prix.
Martin,
yeah, he's showing a little bit there. 4 points ain't too bad.
Ty Woffenden.
Maximum man and 12 clear in the title race.
Andreas Jonsson.
Yeah, got himself in a bit of a muddle a couple times out there. Only 2 points tonight.
Darcy Ward.
Has worked hard for his 5 points.
Freddie Lindgren.
Really charging, really determined.
Krzysztof Kasprzak.
7 out of 9, riding well, Kasperzak.
Jarek Hampel.
Well, losing a little bit of sight there with only 4 points.
Tomasz Golob.
6 points from 3 rides and looking more like his old self.
Alexander Chonda.
Well, he tasted a bit out there with those 2 points.
Greg Hancock.
4 points, needs to score well in his last 2.
Aleš Drima.
Yeah, just riding through it, got a point out of the night.
Niels Christian Iversen.
7 points and a 3rd in his last outing.
Leon Messen.
Oh, disappointed night for him. Lost the chain in his last ride.
Antonio Lindback.
5 points, and including a race win.
Oh, this guy is determined. 8 points. Well done.
There is the shot of this venue. Krsko, good to be back here after a 4-year absence. Woofenden still staying cool, calm and collected. Here we see the race for the World Championship. Emil Sayfutdinov, we recall, is injured, not here tonight, and only a 5% chance of riding again this season, according to his manager. If you do take him out of the equation, it means that Tai has a 24-point lead over Nicky Pedersen. You can only score 21 in a Grand Prix, and there are 2 rounds to go after tonight. He could be crowned world champion in a fortnight's time in Stockholm.
That's right, no doubt about it. And I'm sure it's the farthest thing out of his mind at the moment, but if he just goes out there and consistently scores points, and he's done it perfect tonight, and if he just carries on with that kind of a form, you're right, possibly the next round of the Grand Prix in Stockholm, he could be celebrating his title.
An interval time here. The sponsors with their traditional T-shirt giveaway during the interval. And the racing hasn't been the most spectacular we've seen. The riders have had to work hard for the points tonight, Sam.
Yeah, and I'll repeat what I've said earlier. You know, whenever they had practice, the practice had a lot of material on it. The boys were really searching for setups. Not sure what the track was going to be like come race night. Well, come race night tonight, the track is much easier to ride and a little bit more difficult for them to get out of the start. And that becomes so important when the track isn't got the dirt on it that you need.
You won the world title in the one-off world finals in '93. Dramatic afternoon in Pocking, I remember it well. What about the one-off world final as opposed to the Grand Prix now, the GP series? How would you have been suited to it, Sam? I know you rode in the Grand Prix, but you know, in this day and age now, do you think the GP would have been better suited to you than a one-off world final, or vice versa?
No, I think that GP definitely would have suited me in my prime. I really enjoyed winning races, and sometimes I had a lot of bad luck when we did the one-off.
And you still had to go through qualifiers, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right. But this is way better for the business side of Speedway. If I was, you know, a rider in current day, I would definitely be working hard to get that commercial side of things backing me up, and that's a big part of the job, and it makes you a better person and possibly financially set for the rest of your life.
Well, man of the moment, Woofenden, due out here in heat 13 off gate number 2. Be interesting to see how he gets on here. Can he continue his maximum form? He's already in the semi-finals, and so he's, you know, going to extend. He's got an opportunity to extend his lead in the series. So Woofenden on the way in blue. Heat 13 is coming up in a few moments' time. So a big race here, heat number 13, and looking at the title race. A 9-point maximum for this man so far, and a real opportunity to extend that gap here, Sam.
Yeah, and this race right here would be, I would say, not too hard for him to do, considering the current form of the other 3 riders. AJ's on the inside of him with only 2 points under his name today, and just outside of him with Martin Vashlik in the white helmet color on 4, and on the outside, the man on his home soil, as you said before, doesn't ride here much. Matty Zagard's only 2 points to his name. Very disappointing night for him. They just freshly burned the racetrack, a little bit of water on there. Tai Woofenden's coming out of gate 2. He's going to feel pretty positive the way his bike is going across the ground on this racetrack of making a really good start and getting out of there. And his team look on, and we'll be encouraging him, hoping that he backs up what they've done.
Heat number 13 here in Slovenia, and it's Andreas Jonsson off the inside in red. Tai Woofenden goes off gate number 2 in blue here. Martin Vashlik off gate 3 in white. Matty Zagard outside yellow. A huge disappointment for him in his home country here tonight. But Woofenden, Sam, has had a masterclass in gating tonight. 3 rides, 3 wins, 3 great starts.
He's come of age on how to set his bike up. His team are working really hard. He's got Peter Adams in there keeping his head straight. He's got Jacko in the main frame of the mechanical side of things. I believe he's got Peter Johns doing his engines. Peter Johns has got a really good track record of keeping guys on the racetrack and winning world championship. Ty's got the complete package, and he's not making any mistakes tonight.
Here we go with heat number 13 then, the resumption here of the DOODSON Slovenian FIM Speedway Grand Prix. Krsko puts the green light on and away from the start, and it's a good one from the inside gate and Andreas Jonsson, and here up the inside comes Zegar. Woffington looks over his shoulder. Oh, it's very tight down the back and Woffington's come through. Now he's going to challenge Zegar. Third in white here is Martin Vasilik. The man in red is Andreas Jonsson. He's gone to the back. Woffington is chasing hard here, but Woffington can afford to sit tight in second and let Zegar kick on here.
That's the mindset Peter has to remind him. Looks over his left side, sees Vasilik's there, but it's all about Matty Zegar. The crowd has gone nuts. It's hard to even hear ourselves talk at the moment as he goes across for a few more laps gone. And here's Ty Woffington still wants to get there.
The lead is with Matty Zegar, and one cannot underestimate what a big result this will be if Zegar can hold off Woffington. Zegar with that lead. We're going into the last lap. Woffington's chasing after him. Woffington throws the bike into the turn. He's going to try the inside cut now. Zegar holding on. Woffington all over him here into turns 3 and 4. Zegar holds the inside line, and that'll do it. That'll do for Zegar. Wonderful ride from the Slovenian. That's more like it for the home hero. Matty Zegar, super ride, and Woffington is beaten for the first time tonight, but adds 2 more points to his world title total.
And Zegar did the business from the outside gate. He knew he had to make a good start to get one over Ty. The race was on from that point on. What a good job that Matty Zegar has done. The crowd is ecstatic about it. Ty rode a very sensible race, didn't take any big chances.
The result, Matty Zegar from Ty Woffington, from Martin Vasilik in third. Andreas Jonsson had a good start but finished last there. This is what it means. Woffington is on 11, safely into the semi-finals already, in double figures as well. And it means now that Woffington is some 14 points ahead of Sayfutdinov in the world title race. 14 clear here in the title race now, and a sensible second place from Woffington.
Yeah, super race from Ty Woffington. He went out there and kept it going there, but he had to work hard because as soon as he went off the inside line and went out of it, left the door wide open for Matty Zegar. Just ultimately perfect cutback to get into position coming out of the turn 2, and then the race was on from then. Here's another view right there. We can just see AJ going into the corner, pushing Ty up high, leaves the door open for Zegar. Zegar then takes full advantage of that. Look at how tight it gets coming down that back straightaway. The one that loses out there is Andreas in the red helmet color, then goes a little bit wide there, but there's Jacko looking at Ty Woffington, being very sensible as Matty Zegar goes out there and gets the crowd in a rush.
I said it in commentary during the race. Ty could afford to sit there and just hold a sensible second place. But to be fair, you can't keep the racer down, and he went for it, didn't he?
He did. He worked everybody could. Even did the last corner, went straight up, really deep into the corner, tried to get the thing going, but realized it's over with, and you have to settle for second place sometimes.
If you'd have offered him 11 from 4 rides before the start of tonight, on a track that he's never raced on before, he's practiced here yesterday, but I asked him last night at the hotel, Ty, what's your experience on this track? He said, this afternoon, full stop, practice, never been here before. 11 points out of 12 for Woffington. Here's the lineup for Heat 14 now. Jarek Hampel, only 4 points after being an impressive winner early on tonight. Has to do better than that. Krzysztof Kasperzak off 2, Freddie Lindgren off 3, Darcy Ward off the outside gate. Ward needs a big ride here as well. And Tony Rickardsson talks to Thomas Golub. A true legend, Tony. Great rivals, but great respect for each other. And good to see Tony Rickardsson here in Krsko here this evening. This is heat number 14 now. Good start from Lindgren on 3. Hampel is off the inside gate. Now Ward's going to try to switch up the inside, but there's no room there. The lead is with Hampel, and now around the outside comes Freddie Lindgren in white, the Swede, really having a go. He's going into the dirt. Oh, a battle for second place. And that man, Kasperzak, takes out Lindgren. Here comes Ward as well. What a move from Darcy Ward. What a race here now, and Kasperzak's coming back for more.
Darcy Ward read that perfect. Kasperzak did a big push on Freddie Lindgren going into turn 3, opened up the door. Ward seen the opportunity, took full advantage of it, come back into turn 1. He's on the chase now, but is Hampel out front. Does Ward have enough laps left?
Well, it looks as though the man in red, Jarek Hampel, is extending his lead and looking comfortable. Darcy Ward in second, puts him on to 7 with that. That gives him a chance of a place in the semi-finals, but it's Hampel from Ward, from Kasperzak. Freddie Lindgren in the wrong place at the wrong time is in last place and has still got work to do in his last outing after 3 straight second places to get a place in the semi-finals. Super ride from Jarek Hampel. He's been inconsistent tonight, but it's a second race win for Hampel. Darcy Ward is yet to win a race tonight, finishes second there. Kasperzak was third, and Lindgren very, very disappointed with that last place, and he'll look to come back in his last outing, Lindgren in heat 17, where he needs a couple of points at least. But for Jarek Hampel, moves him on to 7. It's a big win for the pole. Here's the result. Hampel the winner with Darcy Ward second, and third place there went to Krzysztof Kasperzak, and Freddie Lindgren trailed in at the back. So 14 heats gone now. And this is what it means. Kasperzak's on to 8. Hampel rockets on to 7 points with Ward, and Lindgren just in the top 8 on 6 points. But there was plenty going on in that one, Sam.
Yeah, I'd say that the bigger loser in that race would have been Freddie Lindgren coming out of gate 3 in the white. He makes a decent start on the inside. It's about Hampel. He makes a good start, stays in the right place on the racetrack coming off there, but just up the inside, Kasperzak's there. Freddie now dedicated to that outside line trying to get it, but Kasperzak decides he's going to try and move Freddie offline, which leaves the door open. The yellow helmet color of Darcy Ward then squeezes in there. Here's another view of Hampel making a good start. Kasperzak in blue coming up the inside. Got his eyes straight on Hampel, not going to give it up. Freddie on the high line in the white helmet color is dedicated to that outside line. Then Kasperzak doesn't like that, moves him up high, leaves the door open, repeat it, and there goes Ward that comes in there for that second place.
Yeah, good ride from Jarek Hampel. He needed that as well. Moving him on to 7 points now. Darcy Ward is on 7 as well, with 3 second places and a third. But of course, if it's a countback, Hampel's in a better position with 2 race wins there.
He is.
That's why he's currently 4th in the meeting. And he's got 2 race wins to his name, which is excellent as far as he's concerned. We move on to heat number 15 here in Krsko. Stadion Matija Gubka. A reminder, we move on to Stockholm in a fortnight's time, which is where Greg Hancock is based these days, on the outskirts of Stockholm in the beautiful countryside around there. Alice Drimmel goes off the inside in red. Greg Hancock, twice world champion, gate 2 in blue. Gate 3 is Alexander Konda, the wild card here tonight, and Thomas Gollop, 6 points to his name, goes off the outside in yellow.
Yeah, this will be a tough race for both, I believe, Thomas Gollop and Greg Hancock. And if Alexander Konda can continue with scoring points, he could be a bit of a thorn between them two. Alice Drimmel on the inside could surprise everybody. He's capable of doing it, but it's all about whether Thomas can get over Greg now.
Heat number 15 it is then here. The Slovenian Speedway Grand Prix, a textbook start from Hancock off gate 2. Beautifully done. Now Gollop comes round in yellow. Drimmel holds second, but not for long, because Thomas Gollop has got plenty of drive, and he's going to charge up the inside of Greg Hancock with a majestic move from Mr. G. He holds that lead and looks over his shoulder. A beautiful move. Hancock holds second. Third in red here is Drimmel. Hancock chasing hard, knows he needs points here, Herbie Hancock. This would move him on to 6 and still give him a chance, but he could have done with holding on to that lead. But what a move from Thomas Gollop.
Oh, textbook kind of stuff there from Thomas Gollop. He built up the momentum through the first corners 1 and 2. Greg left a little bit of a hole open there, and then there goes Thomas straight in. Total Thomas move. Passes him. He's got the pace now. Can Greg do anything? I think he's running out of time.
Yeah, absolutely right. Over 320 Grand Prix appearances between these two boys at the front of this race. Thomas Gollop in yellow, Greg Hancock in the blue helmet. Third in red here is Alice Drimmel, but it's Thomas Gollop who takes the victory. 9 points for the pole, and there's plenty of Polish fans in the crowd tonight as well. And that will put Gollop through to the semi-finals. That's more like it from Thomas Gollop.
Yeah, what a stat there, Nigel, about combined appearances. That was really good. There's a heck of a lot of experience in that race. There's no doubt about it, which proved why both those guys were in front of the other two. Dremel and Kondo didn't really have a chance.
Absolutely right. The result, Thomas Golub, the race winner there. Second place went to Greg Hancock. Alice Dremel was third. Alexander Kondo, the wild card here tonight, trailed in at the back. Golub now on 9 points, set fair for the semi-finals. He's second place behind Woofenden, but Hancock still with work to do, lingering on 6. So 6 points at the moment, the figure, but it's all going to boil down to the last 4 heats to decide who is going to make the cut in the top 8.
Yeah, we built this race up as it's going to be Greg Hancock v Thomas Golub. Thomas is on the outside in the yellow. Just gets his wheels in line right here. Greg just moves offline to try and chase that little bit of dirt going into 3. Thomas makes a textbook Thomas Golub boot, fired himself right up the inside there going into turn 3. Here's another view of Thomas concentrating on getting his wheels in line down the back straightaway and just straightens the bike into going into 3 and smooth as ever passes Greg. Greg had no answer from that point on. Thomas did a great job making sure that bike and that back tire was right where it needed to be on the whole racetrack right to the end. And again, the traditional pat of the old side panel of the tank.
Yeah, great respect from those two guys. And how many times over the last 20 years have we seen Thomas Golub charge up the inside after a back straight move?
I mean, he's been looking for that kind of form tonight throughout the whole thing, and he finally got it in his 4th ride. Greg's a little bit concerned about maybe a little bit of wheel spin. You never know.
So we move on to heat 16, and Nicky Pedersen is out here in red. A man well and truly in contention for a medal this year. Again, we wait on a fitness update on Emil ahead of Stockholm in 2 weeks' time at the Friends Arena, which I was fortunate enough to visit last November when the England football team were there, beaten handsomely by the Swedish side in that game. But Speedway comes to Stockholm in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, well, the story in this race right now is Nicky on the inside, as you can see there.
Pedersen off 1, Antonio Lindback going off gate 2 in blue, Leon Madsen gate 3 in white, and Niels Christian Iversen off the outside. After this race, every rider will have completed 4 rides.
That's right, with Niels Christian Iversen on that outside line and Nicky on the inside. Between these boys, they're only a couple, they're only, what are they, 5 points between each other overall right now of gain. So if Neil goes out there and puts one over Nicky right now, it's going to put him that much closer to getting onto the podium overall. So he's focused on that. Nicky's focused on his as well on the inside.
Jarek Campbell's on 103. Nicky Pedersen is on 102. Here we go with heat 16. A beauty from Pedersen off the inside gate. Iversen's got to come through some traffic if possible. Lindback and Madsen are there. And look how close all 4 riders are. Iversen at the inside, tries the inside line. Pedersen has the lead in red, but he's got Niels Christian Iversen in yellow and Antonio Lindback in blue. And Madsen's still in contention as well. But what a ride from Nicky Pedersen. He's on the verge of overtaking Jarek Campbell to go 3rd in the world.
Yeah, what a great race. Look how close these guys are going into turn 3 for the 2nd time. Nicky's in front, but he's got the pressure of Niels Christian Iversen in the yellow helmet. Now they're pushing him. If Nicky makes one mistake, Niels is going really deep. Overcooks and Antonio's up the inside of him. It's still going on.
Yep, great ride again from Nicky Pedersen here in heat number 16. This will put him on to 11 points. Madsen challenging Lindback at the back here. Niels Christian Iversen holding 2nd spot. That'll do him. He can prepare for the semi-finals as well here tonight, and he's really chasing Nicky down, really hunting him down hard here. He's going to try the inside line, then he'll try the switch. He's going to try the inside line, but Pedersen has done enough. He's holding the inside line as well. Good race, good speedway, and Nicky Pedersen hangs on, and he moves on to an 11-point score, and he's 3rd in the World Championship now, Nicky, on 105 points. He's 9 behind Emil Saifuganov. Hampel's on 103, and Niels Christian Iversen on 99 Grand Prix points. And that was a good race there. Nicky knew he had to really work hard to hold off the challenge of Niels Christian Iversen there. Heat 16, the official result. Nicky Pedersen the winner with Niels Christian Iversen in 2nd place. 3rd there went to Antonio Lindback. Leon Madsen yet to score a point. He trailed him at the back. This is Brittany's overall on the night. Now Nicky and Ty level on 11 points each. Look how close it is for the 8th spot. You have 3 riders now on 6 points apiece. Good ride from Nicky.
Oh, desperate. ride for everybody in that race, but Nicky definitely made sure he wasn't going to give anything in that one. He took off from that inside gate there. He knew that he had a couple of tough contenders in the race with them. Tried to get a lead straight away, but it was all about Antonio. But Niels is the one that actually positioned himself quite right, comes into turn 3, comes up the inside of Antonio Lindback. At this point right now, he's going to put the chase on Nicky. Nicky thought he had a bit of enough lead to kind of finish it off coming up to about a lap and a half, but it was all about Niels Christian Iversen from that outside gate. They got sandwiched in the first corner, had to really almost give up that position, but squeezed through it off by the time he got into turn 3, and then focused on getting right with Nicky Pedersen at the end.
Yeah, great ride from Nicky. He's on 11 points. It's been a great night for him. Super Speedway there in heat 16. Yeah, terrific night. Looking at the World Championship standings now as well. Tai Woffinden, 14 clear of Emil Sayfutdinov, and 23 clear of Nicky Pedersen with 1 round to go. It has to be said now that you have to think that Tai Woffinden is closing in on that world title, which would be a remarkable, remarkable story. So, track grading, and we're going to hear from a true legend now. Tony Rickardsson is with Jason Harold.
Well, it's fantastic to see this man around the Grand Prix. Tony Rickardsson, welcome to Slovenia. What are you thinking of the meeting so far?
I think the track has started to develop really good, and I think we will see some really good racing towards the end of the meeting.
You watching the racing, Grand Prix racing, rather than being in it, how does it feel sitting on the other side of the fence?
To be honest, I love to watch the races back home, sitting in my sofa. So then this is really one of the first events I've been to where I actually be sitting up in the stands with all the spectators. But you know, when you feel the smell from the bikes, and it's super, it's excellent, it's really good.
Well, we saw you talking to your old adversary, Mr. Golob. Mr. Hancock is still in the series. Any hankering to get the Kevlars back on and the bike out of the garage?
No, my racing time is over, but my feelings is still burning the same, and just watching the races, you really get the adrenaline going when you're out there.
Well, I dare say it'll be even more so when we roll into Stockholm next. I dare say that's one you won't want to miss.
Yeah, it's going to be good. You know, I'm going to have all my family there with me, and some friends too, so it's going to be really exciting to go and watch that meeting.
What do you think of these new young guns that are coming up through the Grand Prix series, like Tai Woffinden and Emil Sayfutdinov, Darcy Ward? Are they impressing you?
They sure do, and you know, it's really nice to follow them and also see how the sport develops. And I think both Emil and Tai has been doing a fantastic job all the way through this year. Unfortunately, Emil cannot be here thanks to injuries, but just watching Tai, you know, he's really dominant right now.
Think he's going to be world champion?
I don't want to put that pressure on his shoulders, but come on, he will be my bet right now.
Well, we'll see you and him and the rest of the series in Stockholm. Tony, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, great to see Tony Rickardsson. You've shared the racetrack many times with him, Sam.
I sure have. I was looking through some old photos when we were shifting things around last week, and Tony was in lots of them, and yeah, true legend. He backed up his talent many times. We know 6-time world champion, and a good ambassador to the sport, and it's good to see that he's here living it with everybody else live, and he's going to Stockholm. That's really good to hear.
Yep, the Friends Arena in Stockholm. It is a magnificent venue close to the city centre in Stockholm, and again, it's going to be a temporary track that is going to be laid in that stadium. They have pub concerts, they have football matches, and the Speedway is there in a fortnight's time as well, the 21st of September, and that is going to be one heck of a night in Stockholm. So the final 4 heats of the regular races here, the qualifying races, if you like, are on the way. We know that we have Tai Woffinden and Nicky Pedersen on 11 points apiece so far, and really has been a tremendous effort by them. Woffinden, by our calculations, leads the GP on countback, and Darcy Ward still has a bit of work to do. He's with Jason in the pits.
Well, Darcy Ward, you said in your magazine column this week you'd never seen this place before. How are you finding it now you've had a chance to race?
Yeah, it's tough. You got to make starts. It's crucial, and I didn't bring them gloves today, so it's making it hard work. But you know, you just got to keep battling. 7 points now, so last race important to make semis.
How important is it at this stage where you've missed a few GPs? Is it important to cling into that top 8, or is it important to get to the semis and the finals?
Yeah, I think you know, I'm just taking each meeting as it comes, really, and just enjoy it. And if you make semis, you can make finals. So that's where you want to be. And tonight, Tomic's having a good one, so he's keeping me on my toes.
You in the last Grand Prix, of course, you were almost in another country trying to overtake. The room's not really there for you tonight.
Yeah, the dirt. It's you know, we're a different track, different place. So yeah, there's not much passing going on. It's pretty difficult to get a good line. If you hit where someone else has been, you're spinning up. So it's difficult, but it's the same for everyone. So let's make the last one a start, hopefully.
Well, good luck. Thank you, Darcy.
No worries.
Yeah, hasn't brought his gating gloves by his own admission tonight, Darcy, and he's going to need points in his last ride to make it through to the semi-final.
Yeah, it's he knows the pressure's on him right now. If he's going to do it, now's the time to do it.
Here's your lineup for the last 4 heats before the semis.
Alexander Chonda
has found life tough tonight with a couple of points to his name, the wild card.
Niels Christian Iversen.
Really surprised, probably not surprised how good he's
Freddie
going.
Lindgren.
He finished last in his last race to put pressure on Heat 17.
Matej Žagar.
Finally got a race win and the crowd went nuts.
Aleš Drimmel.
Finding it tough as a replacement for the world champion.
Andreas Jonsson.
Yeah, still not finding the form that he requires to score points.
Jarek Hampel.
7 points from 4 rides, still needs to score in his next race.
He's come alive, joint leader with Ty Wolfenden.
Antonio Lindback.
Second place might do it for Antonio.
Krzysztof Kasprzak.
Yeah, not too bad, 8 points. I think he might be there.
Ty Wolfenden.
What a night for Wolfenden.
Greg Hancock.
6 points, needs a race win.
Leon Madsen.
A nightmare for Leon Madsen in as a replacement for Emil.
Darcy Ward.
Still struggling to get out of that start. May that come next.
Martin Vaculí.
An inconsistent night for the Slovakian.
Tomáš Golob.
9 points, that will do.
This is the business end then, Sam. This is where the top 8 will be decided. The draw order as well in terms of gate positions that the riders can have. So these are some really important heats coming up here. This is where the pressure will be on. No question about that. With 4 heats to go to establish who will make the top 8 right now. Hancock, Lindgren, Lindback all on 6, and Zagar just behind on 5 with Vasulik. So several riders in contention for a top 8 place now, Sam.
There is, that's right. I mean, there's 4 or 5 of them. You just mentioned the fact that there's 3 guys on 6 and 2 on 5. Any one of those guys and what combination comes out of their heats could put them in the right place to be in that top 8. It's important for them all.
Fans enjoy themselves here in Krsko tonight. They're enjoying it in commentary as well. Another twist in the World Championship race tonight. And we see Niels Christian Iversen in white, preparing for heat number 17. Let's have a look at the gate stats, Sam.
Well, there you go. The inside gate's obviously been the one that's dominating. It could be a little bit to do with needing those trapping gloves on. It's probably sometimes the easiest. But gate 4 has produced 4 heats. Gate 3 and 2. 2 is a bit better than 3, but there's still a lot in that.
So, riders preparing for action. Now, big race coming up for Matej Zagar. He knows it's win or bust, most likely, for Zagar to get into his home semi-final.
Well, he's on the inside gates, which produced more wins than any other gates. And Freddie's a hard charger at the moment. Greg's kind of focusing on with Travis, a guy that gives him a lot of advice and he's got eyes. It's all about get the most out of it. Niels knows what he's got to do in this one as well. He's got 9 points coming off of gate 3. I think it's going to be definitely the first 3 guys, Matej Zagar, Freddie Lindgren, Niels Christian Iversen. They're the ones that got to do it. Freddie's the one that needs the most points. Zagar as well on the inside.
So, riders just preparing for the push-off. There's a little bit of track grading going on here. for heat number 17. They're just doing a little bit of extra track grading here. And fans of all ages enjoying the Speedway. It is like a big party here tonight here in Slovenia.
I mean, they have a big marquee in the front of the stadium full of festive stuff. They got lots of food there, lots of drink there, and there was a lot of people enjoying that before the start of the meeting, and they're continuing to enjoy it while the race is going on. And there's the race director, Tony, out on the racetrack having a view out of the tractor still on there.
Yeah, Tony Olsson, the race director, a former rider himself, Tony Olsson from Sweden. Just checking out the first turn, bit of extra track grading going on as we prepare for heat number 17 coming up. The riders know they're just moments away from being pushed off here for the resumption. Heat number 17 is coming up in a few moments' time. The 2-minute warning is on then. The riders under a 2-minute time allowance to get themselves out there. We remind you the battle for the World Championship and the standings as well in terms of the rostrum positions. We have to add, we are still unsure whether we will see Emil Seifudenhoff in Stockholm in 2 weeks' time, or indeed whether he'll be in Torun in 4 weeks' time for the final GP. But Ty Woofenden in with a fantastic chance now of becoming World Speedway Champion at the age of 23, when 3 years ago he was in the GP Series, sadly just shortly after his father had passed away, and it was all too much for him. And yet here he is in 2013 on the verge of something special. This is heat number 17. Alexander Konda with his last appearance of the evening here, because he will not figure in the semi-finals of his home GP. Big race for Matti Zegar in heat 17. He's going off the inside gate, and he knows, in all likelihood, 7 points may not be enough. He needs 8 points to scrape through to the semi-finals. A big heat number 17 is coming up then. Here's your lineup. Matti Zegar, a win or bust off the inside for the Slovenian. Fredrik Lindgren of Sweden off gate number 2 in blue. Niels Christian Iversen, gate number 3 in white from Denmark. Alexander Konda, the wild card, his last appearance of the night here in heat number 17. Greg Hancock, twice world champion. Ty Woofenden, world champion in the offing, no doubt. Zegar needs the points here, pulled out of the GP Challenge confident of a top 8 place, secure for next year's series. The big heat number 17 is coming up here then. Zegar's on 5, Lindgren's on 6. Iversen in white is already into the semi-finals. And it's a good start from Lindgren off 2, but Zegar's in there as well. And it's all very tight, and the home crowd go wild. Zegar has the lead! Oh, how do they stay on the bike? Iversen has to get off the bike virtually down the back straight. Zegar has come to the party. He's got the lead from Freddie Lindgren second. Third in yellow here is Alexander Konda. If it stays like this, Lindgren will get 8. Zegar will get 8. And listen to the roar of the crowd here.
Unbelievable first lap of Speedway. And it was all about Matti Zegar backing up his last race win. He's got 3 more points under his belt if he can hold on to them. But Freddie Lindgren means business. We've been showing his determination throughout his last couple of races. He will not give up. He's going to chase Matti down to the end, Nigel.
Yep, Lindgren just as quick as Zegar, and now Lindgren tries the inside line. Into the last lap they go. Zegar holds the line. Lindgren's right up his exhaust pipe. Down the back straight. Zegar cannot afford to be passed by Lindgren. Zegar needs this. Desperate to hang on. Matti is the man. What a win for Matti Zegar. Right place, right time. No mistake at all from Matti Zegar. Under serious pressure from fast Freddie Lindgren. What a race that was.
It sure was absolutely good stuff. Zegar pulled it off, backed it up. He went out there earlier in this race and scored 3 points. Threw another one in there, another win under extreme pressure from Freddie Lindgren. The Swede put him right up there. The crowd's going nuts, and the result is 3 more points for him.
He saved his night. Matti Zegar from Freddie Lindgren in second. Third place went to Konda, the wild card there, and a last place for Iversen. And it means that Zegar's on 8, Freddie Lindgren is on 8. But still, on the comeback, Freddie Lindgren is having to wait here. Really going to have to wait as we build up to heat number 18. But Matti Zegar, absolutely superb ride.
Yeah, he had to go out there and do his business, and he did it right, and that put him in a nice position. And there's still a lot to go on, isn't there? There's Yara Campbell on 7, Darcy Ward on 7, Antonio Lindback on 6, and they still got races to come. Here it is right there. Zegar in the red helmet color, comes up the inside there, Freddie in the blue, but on the outside, the big loser of this race is Niels Christian Iversen. That was lying on 9 points, coming out of gate 3, gets out of this gate right here, thinks he's going to be able to get in there with the boys, but he gets squeezed out coming out of turn 2 with a little bit of help from his Conrad right on the inside. Look at that, watch that happen. Freddie Lindgren just pushes. Oh, there's no room right there. Lucky for him to even stay on the bike then. Freddie then pursues after the guy leading the race, Matti Zegar, chases him right down to the end. No chance of him getting them, but he definitely put him on extreme pressure. Good sportsmanship there.
Well, tough speedway. It's Grand Prix Speedway. No quarter asked or given. Every point absolutely vital. Freddie and Niels having a heated discussion there after that back straight incident. It was tough. It was harsh. 9 points for Iversen. And they did come together down the back straight. It was very, very tough there. They are hugely competitive riders, these GP boys. As we build up to heat number 18, Nicky Pedersen off the inside in red. Gate number 2 is Jare Campbell in blue. He needs points. Andreas Jonsson and Alice Drimmel, they won't figure in the semi-finals. Hampel needs points to get through to the semi-finals and to continue his push for a rostrum place in the World Championship.
Yeah, second place here would be safe for him tonight, but he still wants to push it on because he wants to get that roster position. He's moving on Nicky as it is, and they're overall standing.
Heat number 18, and Hampel's made a good start, but Nicky's in there really working hard, but Hampel has kept his nerve, and Nicky Pedersen holds second place right now. Watch out for the man in white who once again has to virtually get off the bike, Andreas Jonsson, and at the back is Alice Drimmel. But what a ride from Jare Campbell. This is going to put Hampel onto 10 points, and remember, Hampel and Pedersen very, very close for the bronze medal at the moment, and this, by my reckoning, would put Jarek within a point of Nicky Pedersen in the race for third place. But Hampel with that lead, Nicky Pedersen second, and third is Andreas Jonsson.
A very good start from Hampel. He means business coming out of gate 2. He just got himself over the top of Nicky, and that's where he laid the ground. Coming off of turn 2, Nicky's now just trying to hold on to it. He's under a wee bit of pressure from Andreas Jonsson, finally coming to the party in third place.
Yep, Hampel riding well. It's been an inconsistent night for Jare Campbell, but crucially here, it's going to be a third race win on the night for him. Nicky Pedersen will get 13 points by finishing second here. Jonsson's having a late charge here to put pressure on Nicky Pedersen, but Pedersen holds the inside line. Hampel the winner. Nicky Pedersen was second there. Third went to Andreas Jonsson and Alice Drimmel at the back, but a fine win from Jare Campbell. Puts him onto double figures. 10 points now for Hampel, and that is a good night's work for him.
It sure is. 10 points, double figures getting into the semifinals is always going to be very pleasing. Nicky Pedersen is on 13 points going into it, but Ty Wolfenden's got 1 ride to go on 11.
Hampel, Pedersen, Jonsson, Drimmel, and this is what it means overall. Pedersen on 13, Wolfenden 11, Hampel 10. And on the countback, Freddie Lindgren is on 8 points in 8th place. And with, Darcy Ward still to come. Greg Hancock on 6 points still to come. Freddie Lindgren is in danger of missing the semi-finals on countback.
He is, he is. Still a lot to race for out there. You got to keep going. But this race was all about what was going on. About this just about Hampel. They're just making a brilliant start over Nicky. Nicky's on the inside there in the red. And Hampel, just look at that. Front wheel's barely even turning. That bike launches him straight in the first corner. They bump elbows going into the corner. Once they get in there, it's all about Hampel. Now, Nicky's just got to hold on to, because AJ now gets pushed up against the fence, as we see Niels Christian Iversen did in the race before that. It's tough out there. It's brutal. AJ has one last attempt, and down the coming off the last corner, Nicky Pedersen actually had to turn left on AJ a little bit to keep behind.
The countback is so hard on riders. We see Nicky on 13 and Jarek on 10. They're in the semi-finals, no problem at all. They're the riders that are toe-to-toe for a bronze medal as it stands at the moment, and possibly a silver if we don't see Emil again in the World Championship this season. But the countback, Freddie Lindgren in 8th place, hasn't won a race. No race wins for Freddie Lindgren, and that could prove costly as far as the Swede is concerned. We move on to heat number 19 now. We've got Greg Hancock leading points here off the inside gate, needs a 2nd place, you think?
No, he needs a win.
He needs a win, really. Yeah, he does, because he hasn't won a race. So there you go, Hancock needing a victory. Ty Woffenden, skate number 2 in blue here. What a brilliant night he's had. And here is the lineup. Greg Hancock desperate for a victory here in heat number 19. Ty Woffenden off gate number 2 in blue. Christoph Kasperzak, who is off gate number 3 and has 8 points to his name so far. Antonio Lindbach is going off the outside gate, and well, Christoph Kasperzak off gate number 3. He's got a big date in the UK on Wednesday with his testimonial at Poole. That'll be a big night, celebrating a decade in British Speedway for Christoph Kasperzak. But heat number 19, Ty Woffenden going off gate number 2 in blue, reeled off 3 straight wins to start the night, the British rider. What can he do here in heat number 19, off gate 2? It's not the best of gates, Sam.
Oh, we just seen Hampel just do a blistering one over Nicky Pedersen in the race before this, so there's something in that gate too. But when you've got Greg Hancock and they're right tight, close together, such a good starter, it's going to be a really good race getting to that first corner.
Here we go then, heat number 19. Hancock's made a superb start off the inside of Neaty, but Woffenden cuts up the inside. Ty Woffenden cuts up the inside here. He's going to block Hancock down the back straight. No room for Hancock. And Hancock, you feel, does need a win here. Hasn't got one yet. Woffenden with the lead. Greg Hancock 2nd, Antonio Lindbach 3rd. And it's Christoph Kasperzak in the back. Woffenden goes wide. Hancock comes up the inside. And Hancock has blocked him superbly.
I was just going to say, I don't think Hancock will have a chance. The way Ty's been reaching, that bike's been pulling him in front of everybody throughout the night. Only dropped a couple of points so far, but now he's losing another one, and Hancock did the business up the inside, going to secure possibly his position into the semifinals with that win.
Yeah, a win for Hancock would put him on to 9 points. He's got the race under control now. A super ride to get the better of Ty Woffenden, who appears to just be sat in his armchair, just enjoying 2nd place and enjoying the fact that he's got 13 points to go into the semi-final. Or is he? Is he going to have one last go here? Hancock goes wide. Woffenden's going to try the inside line. Woffenden pushes him to the line. Hancock holds on.
What a race. What a race. I tell you what, that's respect out there. It makes you kind of wonder a little bit what Ty was thinking, because Ty did move offline, whether he did it on purpose or what was going on. But the American Greg Hancock pulled it off past the guy that's leading this World Championship and possibly could be the new World Championship going into the next GP.
Yep, super ride then from both riders there. Good entertainment from Hancock and Woffenden. Here's the results of heat number 19. Hancock the winner, Woffenden 2nd, Antonio Lindbach got 3rd place there. And Christoph Kasperzak trailed in at the back. That moves him on to 8 points, and he's got the last spot now on countback for the semi-finals. But Darcy Ward is coming up in heat number 20, and he can leapfrog into the top 8 with a 2nd place here and put Kasperzak out. It's looking good for Zagar with a couple of wins to his name, and Hancock now on 9 is safely through.
That's right, and there's Greg Hancock makes one of those brilliant starts that he does off the inside, and it's not too bad of a turn back from Ty Woffenden to come through on the inside of the blue helmet collar. It's cutting back off of turn 2, squeezes Greg up and gives him hardly any room, but just enough for the racer to race a little bit more. Then Ty goes down the front straightaway, goes into turns 1 and goes a little bit too wide. Here's another look at Ty trying to match one of the best skaters in the business, Greg on the inside there, but he turns back underneath the colorful American then and just takes full advantage of cutting his drive off. But then Greg's got another idea. He's going to stick to that inside and working hard. Ty gifts him or runs a little bit wide going into this corner, and Greg takes no prisoners to make sure he gets up that inside line, moves him offline a little bit. Ty has a good look. They shake hands at the end of it all, and a result for both of them.
Good Speedway race. Hancock worked hard, and he's still got the appetite at 43 years of age to ride on the big stage. Fantastic performance in Latvia 3 weeks ago at Daugavpils to win that Grand Prix. He can still win this one as well. Woffenden, we remind you now, is 16 points ahead of Emil Sayfutdinov in the World Championship race. A reminder, the maximum score for a GP is 21, and there are 2 rounds to go after tonight. Here's your lineup: Golub, Vasilik, Ward and Madsen going off the outside. Darcy Ward needs a 2nd place to qualify for the semi-finals. A reminder, Ward has got double figures in every Grand Prix that he has completed so far this season. Missed 3 rounds through injury, Darcy Ward, and he needs a 2nd place here. Got a big night in the Elite League this week in the UK as well with Paul. But right now, the focus is the GP, and this is seat number 20, and Ward's missed the start. Golub is there, and now Ward tries the inside line. Darcy Ward in wide is challenging Golub, but Golub's got the drive around the outside, and they're all bunching up here. 2nd place will do for Ward. Golub has the lead. The Australian Ward is 2nd right now. Oh, he's lost control of the bike and just about hangs on. Charges up the inside of Golub. This is great speedway. Golub has got a real tiger on his tail. Oh, he's almost clipping his back wheel.
Oh, this is tremendous racing. I tell you what, Darcy's letting that bike go. It's grabbed maximum traction in many points of the corners and throwing him right into Thomas. But Thomas now, he's got a little bit of breathing space, and they might just settle down, but he's under a little bit of pressure from Madsen because that bike of Darcy Ward is taking him for a ride.
Well, 2nd place for Ward would put him on to 9, and that'd do for a semi-final place for Ward, but Madsen is putting pressure on. But the old master, Thomas Golub, who's ridden beautifully tonight, is looking good for 12 points. Madsen now pressurising Ward. Ward has to really turn on the gas in the closing stages. Golub has that lead. Ward locks the bike up in the apex of the turn, and Ward's done it up. He's in the semi-finals. That'll put Kasperzak out. Heartbreak for Krzysztof Kasperzak. He misses out on the semi-finals. But that was a great race between Golub and Ward. And I'll tell you what, there's some drama going on down the back straight tonight. They really are getting close to each other down that back straight. All the 20 heats are now complete. Golub's in the semis, so is Ward. And that was a real dramatic race.
It sure was. I tell you, the racetrack is getting very demanding for the boys. They got to go for it.
So Golub, Ward and Madsen from Vasilik, and that is the result of heat number 20, and we prepare now for the countdown to the semi-finals. Good race.
Yes, absolutely. Those guys had to work it. I was mentioning how this racetrack is changing a little bit. The line's getting really deep on the outside, and the boys have to reach. Guys are getting their nose cut off, going down close to the fence. But you see Darcy there trying, and we just watch the action of Darcy's bike. Every time he goes in there, grabs a little bit of traction, the bike lurches, and as it lurches, it drives him forward and drives him right up to Thomas. Thomas now has got to worry about it, but Thomas's smooth style keeps him in front the whole way. Madsen, then Leon just does the work there just to try to get within striking distance if he can of Darcy. Darcy's under a little bit of threat, but there's that bike again, lurching him forward, just giving him enough room to clear it as he goes into the last corner and pulls off a 2nd place.
Yeah, good ride from Golub. He really is riding brilliant tonight. Quite a superb performance, and looking back to his best, to be fair, it really has been a fine display, and the semi-finals are going to be interesting to say the least.
I mean, we didn't really know which way Thomas was going to come into this thing, but he started off with the race win, then he got a 3rd, then he got a 2nd, backed it up with 2 more wins, placed himself well. He's right in there. He's going to have a pretty good, decent pick. The track will allow riders to pick a line, possibly reach it. They're just grading it now as we speak, and that does change things around a little bit. So whether you want to be in the 1st semifinal or the 2nd semifinal, we'll know soon. But Thomas will be in the 2nd final, which will give him a chance to possibly let the track come to him.
So, interesting stuff here. And it means that we have both Nicky Pedersen and Ty Woffenden level on 13 points apiece here tonight.
Yep.
Another dramatic twist in the title race. And looking forward to the semi-finals. We have some real big hitters in those semi-finals tonight. And what do you do if you tie Woffenden now, Sam? Do you play it cautiously and just take it easy, or do you go for it as the natural racer that he is?
Oh, we've seen him already. He'll be going out there right now, and he'll be trying to make the best start possible. And the way it looks like, the way I see it, Ty's going to have first pick in the first semifinal, and it's going to come down to what gate he picks. But he's got guys like, he's got Yerrick Hampel in it, Greg Hancock, and Darcy Ward. That's going to be a tough first semifinal for Ty. So what's he going to do? Guys like Tony Ricketson right there, he's been in that position many times, and I think right now Ty's going to be thinking about what gates he's going to pick, talking to his team manager, his crew. Maybe they got eyes, maybe they can give him information, maybe it'll help him pick the best gate. But he's got one of the best gators in the business, Greg Hancock. Darcy Ward coming good, but Yerrick Campbell fighting for a podium position, Nigel. It's a tough first race.
Yep, so the semi-finals are coming up here. More opportunity for these riders to extend their evening. Who will reach the final here in Krsko, Slovenia? It's been dramatic, it's been close and hard fought. It's not been the most spectacular action that we've seen, but it's been close and hard fought, and the points have really been scrapped for every step of the way. The standings confirmed now. Zagar sneaks into the semis ahead of Kasperzak and Lindgren on 8 points. So even when I said earlier you need 8 points to get into the semis, I meant 8 points at least.
Yes.
And Kasperzak and Lindgren miss out on the countback. The lead is with Woffenden and Pedersen, so they avoid each other in the semi-finals. Woffenden will have first pick, and Nicky will have first pick of the semi-final, as well, as you mentioned earlier, Sam.
That's right.
So it really is a terrific lineup. Track grading going on, and here's the all-important gate stats.
Let's go. On the inside is still producing the most race wins. Outside's got the second favorite, but blue has come good at the end there. 4 out of that one as well. So there's not many choices. Definitely avoid gate 3.
Here we go. Ty Woffenden has first pick, and he's going for the inside gate.
Going for red. Second.
Yerrick Campbell going off gate number 2.
Hancock is now going to have to take that outside gate, I'm sure, to get somewhere. Yep. Goes for gate 4. Darcy Ward's going to be left with gate 3, which hasn't been performing too well. Semi-final time, he's going to have to do one of those tremendous turnbacks in the first corner and hope everybody bunches up.
Surely red, gate 1 for Nicky.
Absolutely. It'd be silly not to. There you go.
Just toying with us here as we move on to Thomas Golub. Great to see him back on form. Hard to ignore Thomas Golub, isn't it? He's off gate 2 in blue.
Absolutely. So he wants to be right next to Nicky Pedersen coming out of that one.
Niels Christian Everson goes off gate 3, and that leaves Matti Zagar off the outside gate. What a lineup for the semi-finals here in Slovenia as we build up to the semi-finals, and well, we really are looking forward to a top-class lineup. The business end of the meeting, and just a few moments away from those semi-finals. It really is a great prospect. Let's take a look at the lineup then for you for the 2 semi-finals.
Greg Hancock.
9 points, a win last time out to save his night.
Darcy Ward.
Scraped in there with 9 points.
Yerrick Campbell.
Double-figure score, 3 race wins.
Ty Woffenden.
Unbelievable guy. Is he going to be the next world champion?
Matej Žagar.
Scraped into the semi-final. He's a man with momentum.
Niels Christian Everson.
Been riding good all night. Hard done by in his last heat race.
Thomas Golub.
Back to his best and good to see.
Nicky Pedersen.
The almighty Nicky Pedersen in the driving seat on the inside.
Yep, great lineup for the semi-final then. And, well, let's just talk about the title race once again. Ty Woffenden now 16 clear of Emil Sayfutdinov. And even if Emil can come back and ride in Stockholm in a couple of weeks' time. It is a huge gap now, Sam, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you got to feel pretty comfortable about that, Ty, and they will be speaking about it. They won't let it build up too much on him. He's still got other races to do within other leagues, and he knows that anything could possibly happen. He just seen his closest contender, ML, miss out on this one with injury, and that's the last thing he'd want to be doing, so he doesn't want to be counting his chickens yet, but he'll know darn well he's in the driving seat to possibly clinch his first world title at such a young age of 23 years old.
Yep. And the riders preparing for action, preparing for the first semi-final here. And Jari Campbell going off that gate number 2. Woffenden with the inside gate. Can he make it count here?
Oh, we just seen Jari Campbell made an unbelievable start out of gate 2 over Nicky Pedersen in his last heat race to score those 3 points that vitally positioned him at 10, get him into semifinals. So it's going to be a tall order. Then you got Darcy Ward just on the outside of him coming out of gate 3, a big cutback opportunity. But then if they all mix up, we got Greg Hancock on the outside. Can he back it up and get into the final tonight? He'll have to do a big mission off gate 4 to proceed to the final.
Yep, so we build up then to the first semi-final. And Hampel off gate number 2, a dangerous performer. 3 race wins and very inconsistent tonight, Jari Campbell, but, well, it has to be said, those 3 race wins have carried him forward well, and that battle for a medal between Nicky, Jarek, Niels Christian Iversen, and even Greg Hancock is still very much in the mix for a rostrum place.
That's right. I mean, there's only 1 point between Nicky and Hampel right at the moment. Nicky leading it by 107 points with Hampel on 106. We know that Ty's up there with 130, but Niels, Greg, and Zaga are all sitting in the 90s. Thomas Golov on an 85, so it's still very tough out there. Every point counts, Nigel, but you got to get in there right now to get into the final.
2 minutes time allowance on. We're ready for the semis. Here we go then, and let's take a look at the World Championship standings once again. Ty Woffenden 16 up on Emil Seifudenov, and a staggering 23 clear of Nicky Pedersen. Look how tight it is for the bronze medal as well, with Jari Campbell on 106 points right now, and Niels Christian Iversen's on 99, and Greg Hancock on 98. So 2 rounds to go after tonight, so some vital points on the line here as we build up to this first semi-final. It's fascinating stuff, and the World Championship about to take another twist here with the first semi-final of the night. Can Woffenden make the start off the inside gate that he picked? Hampel, Ward, Hancock, Richard Child, loyal by Greg Hancock's side at every Grand Prix. You know that very well, sir.
Yeah, I do, yeah. It's a good set of eyes to have up there looking over everything. Ty's got a big job here to do as well.
First semi-final then of the DOODSON Slovenian FIM Speedway Grand Prix, with Ty Woffenden going off the inside. The series leader right now by 16 points. Jari Campbell goes off gate number 2. 3 wins to his name tonight. Darcy Ward, gate 3 in white, scraped into the semis, hasn't won a race tonight. Greg Hancock also scraped in with that win in his last outing. This is the first semi-final of the Slovenian Grand Prix. The nerves will be jangling, Sam.
Oh, man, they're down there preparing everything they possibly can to get that bike to launch them into that first corner. And if you don't get there in the first corner, you got to do plan B. You got to cut back and make a position. It's all on the line and start to go.
Semi-final 1. Green light is on, and now ready for the start. Woffenden has made a flyer, and it's been pulled back straight away.
Straight away.
The red lights came on immediately, and Ty Woffenden clearly got the jump at the start off the inside gate. I'm not sure he could do that again if he tried.
Let's watch. It was such an intense start and build up to what was going to happen. I didn't see what was happening other than Ty was front. Let's see if Ty actually moves before the tapes go. It doesn't look like he's moving yet. Oh, he just made a tremendous start. Nobody moved until the tape went. Look at that. Unbelievable.
Is that a mistake by the referee in your eyes?
That is the perfect start. Is this future world champion focused or what?
Well, I think he is, and there's been a lot of talk about this year. Is that a jump at the start?
That was a perfect start.
Krsko from Sweden, the referee, quite clearly feeling that was an unsatisfactory start from Ty Woffenden.
It's so hard when nobody else makes as good a start as you when you hit it right, isn't it? He's on that start line, focused, and the thing moves, he dumps the clutch, and he gets penalized because the referee seen nobody else let the clutch out in time.
To be fair, in the referee's defence, Sam, he has to make a decision there and then. If his gut instinct is that is an unsatisfactory start, he can't wait till the end of the race and then pull it back.
Yeah.
He's got to make a decision there and then.
Well, let's just call it a fair start or an unsatisfactory start. That wasn't a fair start for everybody. That was a best start for Ty.
Okay, so Woffenden has been denied by the referee in the first semi-final. All 4 riders back for the restart of heat number 21, the first semi-final. It just really adds to the tension and the drama.
I feel it. It's good.
How many times did that happen to you during your career? Perfect start, you were pulled back.
I wasn't one of the best starters, but I could get out of the start.
You weren't bad, to be fair.
Okay. I think I grew into that position, and maybe it was the confidence that the runs I was having at my peak of my time. When I get on the start line, I think I had half the guys built, beat before I got on the start line, but it did help.
So, we'll do it all again here. Man alongside me tonight, the 1993 world champion, Sam Ermolenko, here in Slovenia tonight. And for another dramatic night of Speedway here, Woffenden is the last rider to be pushed off from around the pit gate area. Hancock we see in yellow. Woffenden is the man in red. Will that be playing on his mind? The fact that he's been pulled back there.
I think he still will be focused on doing the job. He's trained really hard. His focus is unbelievable. He's proven it time and time again. He's made some tremendous starts tonight. He's pulled off some good moves, and he's even backed the throttle off when he needed to when Zagar was in front of him. So he fully understands what he's got to do, but the best opportunity right now is to make another good start.
Woffenden, Hampel, Ward, Hancock. That's your lineup again for the first semi-final. Is that the first restart of the night? I can't recall another one. I think it is. As we build up to the first semi then here, second time of asking. Woffenden, the man on top of the world right now, 23 years old. Hampel off 2, Ward off 3 in white, and Greg Hancock off the outside in the yellow helmet colour. Woffenden and Ward, part of a new breed of Grand Prix riders. Emil Saifudanov, Darcy Ward, Ty Woffenden, Chris Holder recovering back home in the UK from those injuries that he had, of course. A new generation of riders rising to the top of the world, but still the old boys, if they don't mind me calling them that. Greg Hancock, Thomas Gollum, Nicky Pedersen, capable of taking big points on the night. And they're all in the semi-finals. This is the first semi-final then. Second time around. Here we go again. And it's a clean getaway this time, and Hampel's made a good one. Woffenden is second right now, and coming up the inside is Darcy Ward. Woffenden desperate to make the final. He's got lots of pace down that back straight. Ward is third. Hancock is the man at the back now. But Jarek Hampel holds the lead quite beautifully here. Woffenden chasing him down. Darcy Ward is third. Greg Hancock at the back, and Woffenden is hunting down the back wheel of Jarek Hampel here.
If he's smart, he'll hold on to that second place and don't do nothing silly. Hampel made another perfect start as he did in Heat 18 over Nicky Pedersen. Pulls off another one over the guy that's leading the World Championship. But I can tell you right now, Ty does not look happy about being in second place. He's pushing all the way.
He's got lots of speed. He's chasing the back wheel of Jarek Hampel. Hampel's going to go wide. Woffenden's trying the inside line. Ward is third, and Hancock out of contention. Woffenden's looked over his shoulder. He knows that second place is secure, and I think Woffenden will settle for that now. Hampel kicking on, and Jarek Hampel is on his way to victory. It's been a fine night. It's his fourth win of the evening here, and Jarek Hampel is going to reach another Grand Prix final. That's 24 Grand Prix finals in his career now. He's only won 4 in his career, Jarek Hampel. It's his 79th GP tonight, and he's through to the final with Ty Woffenden.
Both of them are happy to be in their position right now, going into a final on a night that means so much to both of them. Ty's got to keep the consistency, keep pushing it forward, just as their whole game plan's been throughout the day talking about it, but there's the result.
And it means that Hampel and Woffenden are through. It means that Ward has scored double figures again without making the final tonight. There we see it, confirmation then, Ward on 10, his night is over, Hancock's night is over on 9, and it means that Woffenden and Hampel are through to the final, 15 and 13 points respectively, and Woffenden's lead is extended to 18 points in the World Championship.
Just keep chipping away at the pile. For the second attempt, the semi-final #1 was run. Ty didn't make the blistering start. He did the first one to Chris. The referee pulls it back, but it was another great performance for Jarek Hampel that made a tremendous start off of gate 2. Pulls it out of the bag right there. Here it is. Just look at Ty desperately trying to get himself in front of Hampel. Hampel secures it straight away. Up the inside there, you got Darcy in the white helmet color throwing it in there to see if he can keep the pace with both these guys that continued on to taste first and second in semi-final #1. Greg Hancock at the back, very disappointing for him, but happy camper, and that is Jarek Hampel in front of that one.
Yeah, full credit to Hampel, a fine night's work, 4 race wins, and you could argue for that alone he deserves a place in the final. Ty Woffenden has just been very calculated, very sensible. Peter Adams, his team manager in the UK with Wolverhampton. And Peter Adams, a mentor for the likes of Ollie Olsen, Bruce Penhall down the years, worked closely with Eric Gunderson, worked closely with Sam Ermolenko alongside me as well. And he's adding Ty Woffenden to that CV right now. Semi-final #2. And Nicky Pedersen is off that inside gate. He'll fancy it off gate 1. Thomas Golub will go off gate 2 in blue. Niels Christian Iversen off gate 3 in white. And the Slovenian Mati Zegar going off the outside gate in yellow. The crowd are desperate for Mati to get through to the final.
Yeah, squeezed in there on 8 points, just getting in there. He's on the outside gate. Greg Hancock was just on that outside gate. We know that that's really tough. Nicky's on the inside. Thomas is just outside of him. Niels had a great performance tonight so far. Got squeezed out in one race. Anything can happen in that first corner. Everybody's looking on. Thomas Golub's manager, Thomas, is up there. Is Nicky going to be ruthless? Is Thomas going to make the start? Is Zegar going to cut back? Here goes.
Here we go with a second semi-final then here in Krsko. Tapes go up and Golub's made a good one off gate #2. What a start from Thomas Golub. Stunning move from him. And now Iversen's coming around. What a ride from Niels Christian Iversen, and Nicky Pedersen, who's been in great form all night, is going to really have to work overtime now. Mati Zegar is at the back, the Slovenian, and it's Thomas Golub with the lead. Nicky Pedersen is all over Niels Christian Iversen and is really riding hard here to try and pull back ground down the back straight.
Lots of speed by Nicky Pedersen. First pick in the semi-final #2, took the inside gate. Paying now for that. Thomas Golub made a tremendous start. Niels is following Thomas through, but Nicky's not done.
No, Pedersen's coming back for more. He's got lots of speed down the back straight. Golub has the lead. Niels Christian Iversen is second. Nicky Pedersen is third, but looks like he may miss out on a place in the final. Has he got the drive? He's getting closer with 1 lap to go. He's going to stay on the inside line, Pedersen. Golub has the lead. Iversen second, just loops momentarily and gets the bike back under control. Thomas Golub, what a night for him. He's going to go through to the 65th final of his career. Thomas Golub from Niels Christian Iversen. What a night for him. He's reached his 4th final. And Thomas Golub, well, he has bounced back on the Grand Prix stage tonight.
He must have been inspired, because I tell you what, his fellow countryman Jarek Hampel pulled it off in semi-final #1 out of gate 2. Thomas' eyes were most likely all over that, thinking that if he can pull that off over the guy that's leading the championship, Ty Woffenden, I could pull it off over Nicky that's putting the big push on. And he gets the result.
The last time Golub got double figures was in Copenhagen in June. Iversen second, Pedersen was third, Zegar at the back. Nicky's night is over after a great night's work as well. You have to feel that he will be disappointed with that. Golub on 15 joins Woffenden at the top of the leaderboard. And that is the state of play ahead of the grand final. Well, Thomas Golub back to his best.
Oh, man. He just pulled one out of the bag there. Thomas makes the best start of the night. and he just gets it going there, coming off a turn 2. Niels is following him down there. Niels' bike is grabbing little bits of traction as the bike rears. Nicky's the big loser in this one. First choice to pick gate number 1, thinking that's the way it's going to happen. Doesn't get there with Thomas. Trell's coming off into 3rd place, coming off for turn 2. Niels is working it. Golob's camp is ecstatic about it, and it's all about getting into that final in the top 2 of this race. Thomas Golob in blue off of gate 2. Niels Christian Everson under pressure by Nicky the whole way, pulls off 2nd place.
Great night's work from Thomas Golob. Greg Hancock's night is over there. We can hear from the Grand Prix legend now. He's with Jason Harold.
Greg Hancock, how disappointed do you feel not making the final after that push in the semi there?
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's we had a game plan that we were trying to work on all night, and of course it didn't go that way at all. But you know, still made it to the semis, and you know, got 9 points out of it, and feels good. But you always want more.
Well, there are a lot of you riders all chasing that bronze medal position. It seems now it's going to get tougher with 2 more rounds to go.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I knew right from day one it's going to be tough to make that spot, but with 2 more rounds to go, anything can happen. So it's game on still.
All right, good job, Greg. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, worked hard. Greg Hancock once again. He's the ultimate professional, Sam.
Yes, he is.
Disappointed to miss out, but 9 points, you know, not too bad as far as Greg's concerned. Now, the stats ahead of the final. Surely, gate 1, first pick once again.
Well, we just seen 2 guys pull it off gate 2, Nigel, as a racer. I mean, obviously the stats show that the inside gates produce more wins. Outside ain't too bad either, but gate number 2 is come on good late.
Yep, as we head towards the grand final here with a combination of youth and experience in this grand final. Sam, we have Thomas Golob with 64 final appearances, Jarek Ampel with 23, and then you've got Niels on 3 grand final appearances and Ty with 5.
Yes.
So there's a huge contrast there.
Yes, and both Ty and Niels have tasted success of winning grand finals this year. Jarek Ampel is right there coming. You know, Thomas is gonna. I'm sure Thomas is gonna go for gate number 2, and then Hampel's gonna have to make a decision on coming off the inside. It's just, let's see what happens.
Here we go. Thomas with first pick.
There you go.
Well, there you go. Thomas Golob going for.
Now this is going to be the tough one. He's going to have. There you go.
Woofy for 4, maybe?
Oh, he's got to. No, he doesn't. There I go. This guy knows more than me. He's leading the World Championship. He's the one.
Thanks, Ty. Just made us look completely stupid.
Put me right in my place. Go on.
Oh, dear. Well, there's the final lineup.
Better options.
Ampel, Golob, Woofenden and Everson. It is quite a lineup then, and as I mentioned, a combination of youth and experience as we build up to this grand final. Here's your lineup then.
Niels Christian Everson.
What a great run of form this fella's on.
Ty Woofenden.
You can't say no more about this guy, at least focus on that championship.
Thomas Golob.
Back to his best and good to see.
Jarek Ampel.
Late charge tonight. I'm sure he feels confident.
Yep, a mouth-watering lineup here in Krsko. Racing's not been spectacular in terms of passing, but it's been hard-fought and very close.
You know, it's what's on the line is what's really interesting, huh? When we build the thing up knowing that these guys are all searching for those points, there's a fight to stay in the top 8, there's a fight to get into the semifinals, there's a fight to get yourself best position. And look at that leaderboard right there. That is a big accomplishment from that guy.
Well, he really did have an open goal almost, Ty Woofenden, but he still had a job to do tonight. And 15 points is a fantastic job, well done. He knew that Emil was going to be ruled out. That was announced on Thursday. And with Ty Woofenden with that opportunity, he's just taken it with both hands and done a really professional job, Sam.
Yeah, he hasn't. He hasn't been overconfident about it. He's kept his feet on the ground, focused on the job, and that's what he's been pretty much doing all year. When you get a collarbone break, as he did in Cardiff,
it was a bad one as well.
Yeah, it was, and he had to pull himself back up, and he had to dig deep to be able to go through that pain barrier, continue riding, to put himself in the position he's in now. We've seen it from many other guys. We've seen it from Jason Crump. We've seen it from many of them. But Ty guys now leading the leaderboard in the World Championship. Okay, unfortunate that Emil's not here to back it up as well, but you can't knock a gift horse when it comes to you. You got to feed it.
So, the grand final coming up here. This is the battle for the top 8. We know that Chris Holder will go out of the top 8. Thomas Golub has gone in there on 88. And Darcy Ward is now 10 points behind at the top 8. Chris Holder on 9th place now. Won't ride again this season. Matty Zagar 92, Thomas Golub 88, and Darcy on 78. Now, if Darcy doesn't make the top 8, Sam, we could have Darcy Ward and Chris Holder both out of the top 8, and it's going to be a brave man who doesn't pick those two boys for next year.
Absolutely. I know that's going to be a difficult one. And
so that narrows it down to 2 picks from 4.
Yeah, that's right. Do we include that in kind of a silly season kind of prediction, or do we just say that's what's going to happen?
I personally feel that you cannot ignore the reigning world champion Chris Holder. I mean, and Darcy Ward, who's scored double figures in every round that he's ridden.
And the start of this year, this was the most highly contested field I've ever seen in the Grand Prix, and they can't not back that up again next year.
And then it's an intriguing one, you know, who is there likely to be a pick for a Swedish rider in the battle for the top 8 right now? It's not looking good as far as the Swedes are concerned. So will they need to pick a Swedish rider? That narrows it down to 1 pick.
Oh yeah,
Sam. So it's interesting. Freddie Lindgren, he may need a pick for next year. Will it be Andreas Jonsson? Do you bring him back into the field? You know, it's fascinating. It really is. But this is the final here in Krsko, in Slovenia. The riders get set for the big one. So the riders emerge onto the track here in the Stadion Matija Gubka. Ty Woffenden on 132 points. Jarek Ampel on 109. Jarek, if he wins the final, can go 2 behind Emil Sayfutdinov in the battle in the top 3. Ty Woffenden has done a hugely professional job tonight. 2 Grand Prix wins between Iversen and Woffenden, 1 apiece. And when you add Jarek Ampel, only 6 GP wins between 3 riders. Thomas Golub, 22 GP wins in his career.
So, who's your money on, Nigel?
Oh, well, it's all about what happens on the night. And Golub, of course, went for gate number 2 in blue.
First choice.
I'm not sure whether Ty will really go all out for it, because it's the bigger picture that's more important for him. So I'll go for Thomas Golub.
Yeah, good call. I can't fault you on that one. I think that Jarek Ampel's going to push him all the way, because I think he wants to take over the position of being probably the best pole. So between those 2 poles on the inside, they're going to be working hard. And when you got Niels Christian on the outside and Ty on the outside of them too. So if I'm rumbling on, I'm going to have to agree with you that it's going to be Thomas.
Here we go with the grand final then, here in Slovenia. Here's the lineup for the final. Jarek Ampel is off the inside gate here. Jarek with 23 Grand Prix finals to his name. Thomas Golub off gate number 2, a veteran of 64 GP finals. Ty Woffenden, gate number 3, his 6th Grand Prix final. And Niels Christian Iversen in only his 4th Grand Prix final is off the outside in yellow. 3 of these riders, Ampel, Iversen and Woffenden, have only 6 Grand Prix wins between them. The old master, Thomas Golub, has 22 Grand Prix wins to his name from 64 finals.
Amazing accomplishment there, and he's still going for it. We know he's had a bit of a bad patch through the series, but he's come alive tonight. It's a perfect kind of track. We've seen him dive into turn 3 in one of the races earlier. The old signature kind of pass that he's known for, but he's got a chance right now. He's backed it up in the semifinal coming out of gate 2, made a blistering start. He's got one of the fastest skaters, one of the fastest skaters on the inside of him in red with Ampel. But we got 2 young guns on the outside of him that are going to sit back and try and pick up the pieces, with Iversen having a great night, but knowing that this track is ruthless at the best of times coming down that back straightaway. There's a lot of options here, but who's going to pull it out?
So Ty Woffenden has an 18-point lead in the World Championship going into this race. The grand final, Thomas Golub picked gate number 2 in blue. Not the best statistically as far as winning races, but gate number 2 was the winning gate from the 2 semi-finals. Let's see if it works for Tomáš Golob here. The grand final is upon us here in the Stadion Mati Gubka in Krsko, Slovenia. Big moment coming up, round 10 of the World Championship. And the grand final is here. Who will emerge? The riders wait for the green light. Takes rise, and it's a great start from Hampel off the inside. Woffenden's going to chop up the inside now. The lead, though, is with Jarek Hampel. Tomáš Golob is second. Here comes Woffenden through into second now down the back straight. Closes the door on Golob. Now Woffenden's going to chase after Hampel. Hampel has that lead. Woffenden has got lots of speed. Golob's got the beat between his teeth as well. Here comes Golob back for more. Woffenden switches on the inside.
Unbelievable first lap of racing. Did you just see what I just see? Thomas has now got to work hard. Ty's got so much power. Hampel makes the best start of the night. Unbelievable, Nige.
Jarek Hampel has that lead now. Tomáš Golob is all over Ty Woffenden. Woffenden holds the inside line. He looks over his shoulder. He sees that Golob is coming back for more. Has to get off the gas. Oh, that could have been carnage. Hampel's got the outside line. Jarek Hampel riding quite beautifully and is 1 lap away from another Grand Prix win. That will be the 5th win of his GP career, the 3rd this season. Golob 3rd, Iversen at the back, but it's going to be Jarek Hampel who's going to take the victory here in Slovenia. It's Happy Hampel once again with Ty Woffenden second, and Woffenden now has a fantastic lead in the World Championship of 20 points. Job done for Woffenden, runner-up on the night, and a brilliant score of 17. But Jarek Hampel, many congratulations to him, and he is in the driving seat for a bronze medal, and he's only 2 behind Sayfutdinov for a silver medal as well. What a final that was!
Unbelievable tension on the start line, and Hampel pulls it off. He didn't have first pick coming into the Grand Prix. It was Tomáš Golob that picked gate number 2. Hampel was left with second pick up the inside. The stats show that gate 1 produced the most wins tonight, but it was all about who had the determination to get that first corner, and Hampel smiling.
Yep, super ride from Jarek Hampel. Many congratulations to him. It's a brilliant effort. Woffenden, second place. A great night's work for him. He's punching the air. He knows what a fantastic job he's done here. The bigger picture is that Ty Woffenden is on the verge of becoming Great Britain's first world champion in 13 years. Hampel, Woffenden, Golob, Iversen, the finishing order in the final of the DOODSON Slovenian FIM Speedway Grand Prix. Many congratulations to Jarek Hampel. Wins the meeting, but Ty Woffenden tops the score chart. He couldn't have wished for too much more than that.
Not at all. I mean, 17 points, and he's out there enjoying it. The boys had a great final. They mixed it up a little bit. The tension was on there, and this guy Hampel wins it. Number 1 tonight.
Yep, many congratulations to Jarek Hampel. Here we see it again.
Oh, man, what a start Hampel made in the red helmet color on the inside. Had second choice getting into the final on the gate position. Golob had first. Ty did the unbelievable cutback to position himself. Squeezed off Thomas going into turn 3. Thomas then put the chase back on. Reaches high in the dirt. Iversen's last, trailing behind all this action that's going on. Hampel's focused on not making one mistake, knowing he's got 2 chargers. They switch back. Thomas goes to the outside, Ty goes to the inside. Here's another view of the start of Ty Woffenden. The big cutback, Niels tried to get there first, but Ty got there first. And then it's all about position yourself down that back straightaway. Enough room for Tomáš Golob there to squeeze in there to fight for his position. And they change hands. Thomas had a look. He cuts back to the inside, puts a push on him, passes Ty going back into turn 1. Ty then squares the corner back up the inside, gets back in there, plays it back. And it's all about this guy right here making the start, and he pulls it off. The tension was on him. Jarek Hampel pulls it off, start to finish, and all the action was behind him. A great result, a great final, and everybody in this stadium went ballistic when they watched that entertainment on the
Yeah, good Speedway, the final. Best race of the night. They saved their best till last, Sam.
There you go.
And it was good to see. And Hampel had them all over him, and he just kept his cool. And look at the way they're just switching positions here. And Ty had plenty of speed, but there comes a time in a race, Sam, where Ty deliberately looks over his shoulder and quite clearly just decides, right, that'll do for me. I'll stay where I am.
And he just shook the hand of the guy that won it, knowing that they're messing around. What a great result. Great result.
Very much so. Great night of Speedway here in Krsko. Time to get some reaction here, and let's head down to the podium now. Jason Harold is with Jarek Hampel.
Jarek, congratulations. What was it that spurred you on to win tonight?
Well, yeah, that was a great night. Maybe not the middle of this meeting because I've got some trouble my second and third race, but then, you know, in the pits, it was Tony Riccardi down there, and he gave me some inspiration when I saw him in the pits. Then everything started working much better.
Did he say anything particular, anything special to you?
No, even we didn't spoke about tonight's races, but just, I don't know, when I look on this guy, you know, I think, fucking, I need to go good. Sorry.
Excuse that, but third win in the GP series this year, and it's consolidated you for the bronze medal. You must be getting one hand on that medal now.
Well, I try to keep going, like I said before, every single time. We've got 2 rounds left, and I try to do a good job on the track next time.
And how is the pain feeling now? Because you said you were in some discomfort before the meeting. Has that all gone?
Not really, but I don't think about this. This is so good moment, you know. It's an amazing night, so I forgot about this. Probably when I wake up in the morning tomorrow, I feel again.
Well, enjoy the moment, enjoy the anthem. Congratulations, Jarek Hampel.
Thank you.
Yeah, many congratulations. Great win for Jarek Hampel. Let's take a look at the championship points once again now. These are the standings. That was after round 9. There are 2 rounds to go, and your maximum score in a GP is 21 points. Ty Woffenden, 20 ahead of Emil Sayfutdinov with 2 rounds to go. Jarek Hampel on 112. Nicky Pedersen 108. The battle for the top 8. Thomas Golub moves 7 clear of Chris Holder, who won't ride again this year, of course. Darcy Ward is out of the top 8 as well. Thomas Golub, 3rd. Ty Woffenden, 2nd. Top scored on the night with 17. But the winner of the meeting from Poland is Jarek Hampel. Great win for Jarek Hampel. Many congratulations to him. Really worked hard. It was tough, as I said earlier. It wasn't spectacular, but it was tough and very competitive. Great night for Jarek Hampel and the Polish national anthem. How many times have we heard that played in celebration of a GP win, of a World Cup win, and presentation time? I have to say, great to see Thomas Golub back riding superbly.
Yeah, and he's been smiling the whole weekend, hasn't he, really? So something must have clicked of late to make him think that he had a chance. He's gone out there and performed very well tonight, positioned himself good. I mean, it's probably disappointing to him not to be able to clinch one over his fellow countryman, Jarek Hampel, and climb one more step up the podium. But he did have a go, and he did have to fight for it.
2nd place for Woffenden. And Jarek Hampel with another Grand Prix win to his name. Hard fought for Jarek Hampel. It really was a tough old battle out there. We have 2 rounds of the World Championship to come. And depending on Emil Sayfutdinov's situation, Jarek could finish 2nd in the world this year.
Yeah, that's not a bad accomplishment, really. I mean, he's come good this year, really. He's won, what, this is his 3rd Grand Prix win so far. So, you know, he's got the knowledge. He knows how to do it, and he's really good out of the start. And he proved it by coming off that inside.
Yep. And we're about to have the big moment of celebration here for these 3 riders. Should say Niels Christian Iversen had a fantastic night as well, and trailed in last in the final, but really was a great night for him. And let the celebrations begin here. Jarek Hampel wins the Slovenian Grand Prix from Ty Woffenden. Finished 2nd tonight, and Thomas Golub back to his best as well. great scenes.
It is. It's so good. This is what it's all about, going out there and reaping the bitterness of tasting the old champagne. They've said about Niels Christian Iversen, towards the end of his night tonight, he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. He was forced to come out of gate 4 in the final. It was always going to be tough there. Ty did a good job of getting second place out of that gate 3, which has been very difficult to actually perform. You just had to have your wits on you to have a good plan B to squeeze in there. Garrett Campbell pulled off a great win off that inside.